Greetings and welcome to another Any Given Sunday. Uh, I am Kev. I am your weekend warrior. Just a recap of Friday and Saturday. What was Friday, by the way? Chad Wheeler, that guy. Last night we were talking about the colorism aspect of all of these little social media talking points that us in the Black African diaspora be talking about. But tonight, um, discussion I have with people about the state and the condition and the mindsets of uh, of men these days, and this one right here is probably going to be pointed more so at the hate and the vitriol that the Black manosphere has been receiving, but I would think that it was a rise to a bigger problem. Basically, maybe that the world is they had this thing called a red pill and a blue pill, and really that originated from the movie called The Matrix. Basically, the blue pill is: do you want to stay inside the bubble, inside that regular thought, the thought that that you refer to as something isn't quite right here, or where you're going to take the red pill, basically opening your third eye to all that, the sadness and the realness that reality has to offer. Um, I don't know. I say the red pill nation pretty much right now at this point uh, is severely outnumbered. And like I said, a reflection of that is all of the hate and the attacks that the Black manosphere get just for existing. Just for existing. Something weird I heard someone say that someone said the Black manosphere was nothing but a cheap knockoff of the white manosphere. Basically, saying that the just basically the basically WS at the end of the day, giving a bigger, greater, more superior position to the Caucasian aspect of these narratives. But here's what's happening though: the balance of power is shifting right now. And this is because of a special group of guys. So, where would all the hate come from if this is purpose to helping basically the entirety of the Black community? Because let's face it, historically, under Black males' leadership, everyone is included in the community. It's not this separation bullshit that we see from platform to platform, from movement to movement. Um, it's not any of that. It's like mostly when a black men, strong, heterosexual, um, well-to-do, and in a lot of cases, high-value men. When we lead movements, it's all inclusive because it'd be one unifying factor with us. It's like the fact that we're just all the same uh, skin color, so we're akin to the same struggle. A struggle that I believe rages on, but in 2021 is not nearly as physical and as violent as it was 100 years ago. But in scale, it still may be because, of course, there's a lot more people on the planet now than there was back then. Um, but it's not like in 2021 that if you are a Black person that you have to be in your house locked in before the street light comes on because of crazy racists riding in their pickup trucks up and down the street, basically causing troubles and looking for N words to harass and possibly kill, because it was just like that back in the day. So it's more psychological. And I think that's where kind of where the blue pill stuff comes in. Uh, you know, I'm not really, an expert on all these pill philosophies or anything like that. And I'm not really a proclaimed red pillar. I've been called a red pillar before. I've also heard that it's impossible for me to be red pill because I'm married, which, I mean, by definition, I would say that marriage should not stop you from being a red pillar. I mean, I would say as long as you, I don't know, lead your family, protect your family, provide for your family, put your foot down in your dwelling. I would say that. But one thing that I don't want to get caught up in, for real, is calling myself something just because it sounds good. Well, I'm a red pillar because it sounds cool. It's where the cool kids are. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because how many guys actually go around saying that I'm blue pill, y'all? Seriously, blue pill doesn't sound like it's something good. I'll just say that much. Hey y'all, I'm blue, man. I'm blue pill, man. I don't believe shit. God, I believe everything is real. I'm gonna watch the TV right now and soak in all of that 100% correct information. Yeah, nobody goes around saying that. Blue pillar to me is more of a person that pushes back when the information gets a little bit too close to the heart. Like, for real, you can be anything you want to inside your head, but your heart knows what's real. And a blue pill, I would say, more along the line follows their head instead of their heart. They think it's right just to stay calm, go along. I mean, honestly, if you're a person that just goes along in the current state of the black community, you are an accessory, and that is the truth. If you refuse it, if it were as simple as holding someone accountable, and you refuse when you can make a difference, you're an accessory. Period. When someone is trying to help, but you go behind that person's back and tell other people some really crazy shit that isn't true about that person. Say, for instance, what I hear about the people who say, put all the hate and the vitriol on the black manosphere. Like, I've heard various things, like, oh, the guys over there in that space, they're okay with pedophilia. I mean, like, people go for the throat, like, and it be our people, same folks that be like, oh man, we need to unite, man, solve all these problems, man. Come on, guy, we black, y'all. Same ones will accuse someone of of sexually horrible acts without any evidence. To me, that's blue pill as fuck. Like, I like to think of blue pill in the extreme sense, like the person that just does not get it. I would say red pill, you get it. Blue pill, you don't get it. Red pill, you want unity. Blue pill, you preach unity in one breath, but in another breath, you're calling for black male disunity. Now, really, honestly, I don't think the pill concept really can apply to females. I don't know how that works. I mean, they got something called pink pill, and the only reason why there's pink pill is because there's a red pill. Just like the only reason why there would have ever been any other kind of platform called Black Women Being Brutally Honest with Everyone, because there was the existence of a black men being brutally honest with everyone. But we're talking about the pills that apply to the males. I heard there's a purple pill. Maybe you kind of blue pillish, a little bit red pillish, so kind of like, it's like, wow, why don't we just open up a pharmacy of thought and philosophical interest? Like, why don't we just do that? That way, we can have clear definitions of what red pill, what blue pill, what purple pill is. We leave that pink pill shit alone. Have you ever seen a pink pill besides a vitamin, like a Flintstone vitamin? Have you? I mean, I'm just asking. Hello to the chat, by the way. Greatest chat on social media. And make sure if you're watching this broadcast, you press the like button on the way in. Tonight's show, do we live in a blue pill world? I feel like we're in a blue pill dominated society. The red pill part, now, we're going to say that in the context of red pill, you get it. Blue pill, you don't get it. Fuck all that purple pill, pink pill, orange pill, white pill, like what the fuck ever. This broadcast is going to have a special context. So a lot of people are going to be calling themselves red pill because, like I said, it sounds good. Let me add. Okay, let's talk about something for a sec. Yeah. It's the reason why I'm here to talk about stuff. Of course. Sometimes blue pill people call themselves red pill and then go in on men. Or they don't consider themselves any kind of pill. My thing is, I don't really go by a pill per se. I go by the black man pill. I would probably say that is closer to anything if I were to describe myself as a pill, because I keep hearing these terms being thrown around, and it's not for me to decide. It's for me to gain a better understanding when I open up this panel. And, people are willing to discuss with me this pill stuff. And as usual, what we experience as black men and what kind of real world tangible solutions that we can come up with. Because, I don't like the little attacky narratives about the black manosphere. I never had. I mean, if I call myself black manosphere, of course, I'm not going to like it being attacked. I'm just sorry. I'm just not going to do it. I mean, if let me put it like this. If 97 great things, okay, let's say 100 things came out the black manosphere. 97 of them are great. 3 of them are bad. Guess what? People are doing 50 broadcasts on those 3 things. That's kind of what I would say the scope of how much hate the black manosphere receives. I know it probably triggers some people too when I put those 2 words together. Black manosphere. I don't get y'all. Now, for those of you who are part of the black manosphere and love the place, how do you feel? Even if you have been like, is the black manosphere, is the content creators are recognized. Yeah, we recognize the content creators, but there have been people that have been in this space that aren't necessarily content creators, but they have supported the space for quite some time, I would say. And those people, like Don Calypso, like I'm still reading comments of his on people like Obsidian Video for like 3 years. So shout out to Don Calypso. Yeah, So those kinds of people, the dedicated ones, the ones who have been around, that's a very big integral part of the black manosphere. So I do feel like that sometimes they need an acknowledgement too. And fortunately for us, it's too many to name. It's too many to name. But I just threw Don Calypso out there as an example. I see him, quite often. Matty Ghost also. Like Matty Ghost, he's been around for a while. Shout out to Matty Ghost, one of the moderators here on this channel. But I know when they say negative bullshit about the black manosphere, I know they're talking about the content creators. The names that get thrown around are usually the bigger guys, the guys who have planted their feet in this space, the guys who have put in the work, so to speak. Work, created content, come up with great topics, grew to the point of where they need teams to edit videos for them. Those guys. Their names get thrown around quite a bit. Smaller guys, not so much. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen Soul Provider Speaks get picked on one time. One of the moderators here, and he's one of the Nerd Pill content creators. A pretty cool guy. I enjoy his stuff. But I guess like if we really like the space, I would say that we would highlight the great parts at all times. Highlight our intelligence, highlight our ability to deliver these conversations, highlight the great topics that we come up with. But because we live in a blue pill dominated society, which I think is blue pill dominated, there's no question about that, especially in Western culture, especially in America. Yes, you're very blue pill. This past election proved it. I mean, and I'm not saying like solely because of who you chose. I'm saying is the reactions, the public reaction, the public displays. A lot of blue pill men out here. Imagine the second you disagree with somebody, you're immediately gaslighted. I mean, if you're a black man, you go through this every time you try to make a point with anyone. Not well, I mean, not in all circles, but if you're in these crazy internet circles, these black spaces, yeah. So, so I mean, I know this is kind of a stupid question, but any of y'all ever heard any guy call themselves blue pill? Heard plenty of guys call themselves red pill. They weren't red pill at all. I don't know. I don't know. Blue pill is like when I talk to somebody about something and they're like, "Oh man, it's all good," and then they go do what they want to anyway. Yeah, I especially like those guys. Like seriously, don't have to put up any acts for me. Just be real. Just be as real as possible. Especially when you come to this. Tell them how you feel. Tell them why you mad. But keep in mind that this is YouTube, and like they crushed all of the tinfoil hat stuff, so you gotta still kind of be careful. Brutal honesty goes as far as YouTube community standards at this point. And trust me, people of these different pills, they look at this content. They look at this content. I mean, and from the various sources, I keep hearing that this content right here that we keep speaking of is on the cusp of going mainstream. I would say that if you hate the success of black men in general, I mean, just by the hate, the vitriol that I would see the black manosphere receive, I would say you're a very blue pill. Seriously, you see, blue pill is like you see what you want to see. You don't see what really is. A lot of blue pillars don't see that there are multiple causes as to why things are effed up in the black community. Fatherlessness in the homes. That's the only talking point you will ever hear about that from a blue pill philosophy. Fatherlessness in the homes, not the effect of a negative parent, not bad parenting, not not the lack of leadership in our community, which is sort of connected to fatherlessness in the house. Without a strong, solid male in the environment, there's no balance. So why would you try to fight that? Even if you were raised by a single mother and you're a guy, you can see the necessity. You like I believe every blue pillar sees what the reality is. They just act like they don't. They just want everything and everyone to be super comfortable. Like, I'm not afraid of the uncomfortable conversation because I see it like this. If you're a blue pill person and all of a sudden, like, say you step outside, you're blue pill, and you get struck by a bolt of lightning, boom, just explode into pieces right there, like you on Mortal Kombat. Like you spend your life as a blue pill person. Like the fuck. That's like dying a virgin at 38. Like it's I hate to give you like just I don't know. That's a pretty dark scenario, but still. I guess I don't know. I guess I will say that the first example of red pill, and I've heard this stated before, but really see I can see it, but it was dismissed as something else. The group NWA. If you really go back and listen to NWA, they was on some of that tough guy shit. They for real. They was on some of that tough guy shit. It wasn't gangster. It wasn't about killing. It wasn't about selling drugs. None. Like it was about, hey, you know what? Fuck the police. Uh, gangster really was just lit. Like I guess that was life where living life where they were and how rough the streets were. But it wasn't about any kind of organized crime. If you really listen to the song, they had a song on that album called "I Ain't the One," basically saying "fuck gold diggers." Now that is kind of red pill because you hear the term gold digger thrown around in these quote unquote red pill spaces. But NWA first album was Red Pill. Second album, the one without Ice Cube, was kind of Pookie-ish. But I'm what is called Windows XP, America Online. I'm that guy. So I expect some of this to go over y'all head, a little bit. But you know, the thing is like this. When I go into a conversation trying to make sense, and I have a well-rounded palette of accountability for everyone, serve with clean spoons and plates, of course. There's pushback. Why is there pushback if the scenario I'm coming up with doesn't hurt anyone? Maybe a couple of feelings, but well, how many times have y'all been injured by a feeling being hurt? Seriously, like physical injury, like, oh my God, call 911. This man is hurt. Somebody called him a weasel. Like, he's on the ground crying. Somebody call 911. Get this man some milk. Seriously. because I operate like this. When it comes to discussion and common sense, basically, fuck your feelings. I mean, seriously. I can't, I can't, if at all possible, I can't be fake about stuff like this. It's gotten to a level where it's just fuck. I mean, it's just stupid, and there are things that need to be done about it. And everything always starts with an ideal and a conversation. And right now, we're at the conversation stage where we can come up with all our ideas. Well, in the blue pill philosophy, the ideal is for men like us to stop talking. Go back to go back to go back to sitting in rocking chairs, legs crossed, newspaper open, and shoving all kinds of bullshit information in our eyes with some truth to it. But most importantly, be silent because the truth hurts. Anyway, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open it up. I am going to open the panel up. 43 watching. Hopefully, all of you have pressed that like button. But if you haven't, press that like button, please. Press that like button. Because, see, we love the A word around here. And I'm not talking about asshole. Not the body part, because I know the direction some of these black manosphere haters go in. Oh, he said asshole, so that must mean that there's some alphabet stuff. Shut the fuck up. I mean asshole in the 80 cents, like that song Dennis Leary, asshole. But the A word that I'm talking about is algorithm. That's what happens when you press likes on videos. Algorithm. We love the algorithm. And this channel right now is on a pretty good algorithm for its level. But what we want it to do is to get that algorithm much better. So press the like button. And for you haters out there, if you press the dislike, which I get a few dislikes every now and again, I guess that's cool too. I mean, you know. But that means you're watching. That means you put eyes on it, which also helps the algorithm. So, all right. So let me go ahead and open it up. Shout out to some people in the chat. You know. Hey. All right. So I see Judge Dre. I'm listening. Sheed we here. Stoic One. Absalon Paint Anki. Princess Problems. All right. Mr. Marcus Allen. Frederick Leporo. Corrine Henry. Black Uru Strikes. Bad Hombre. James Kills. All right. So go ahead and drop that link for the last live show this weekend. Yeah, I might do impromptu live this week. I haven't really thought about it, but if something major happens, definitely DJB side 1965. What's going on? Yeah, don't be like a couple of y'all know who y'all are. Don't be coming up here saying all that crazy shit either. Trying to keep this channel. Like, I don't know, like last week, last Sunday, I simulcast between the two channels, and the broadcast last week got flagged on the other channel. It didn't get flagged on this channel, because if it had got flagged on this channel, I'd have been out of commission for a week. That's usually how it works on this channel. I've had that happen twice, and thank God I was able to come back both times after each little strike. But maybe I shouldn't have said that, because there maybe is, yeah, whatever. But shout out to Sean Perry and Nathan Francis. But yeah, I found that funny. So I put that broadcast last week as private. So if you haven't caught last Sunday's broadcast, you won't be catching it. So anyway, shout out to Black Light Revelations 2. We're talking about, do we live in a blue pill society? Like you would probably say someone who is a blue pill, and you got to be careful with names on social media. But this guy's big enough to kind of mention, like, who would be considered blue pill by definition would probably be Derrick Jackson. Yeah, nothing is ever the female's fault. Men need to be held accountable. And I mean, I agree with men need to be held accountable. I'm not a guy that doesn't believe in accountability because, I made a kid and I know that is like the ultimate accountability right there. But it's like he talking about men being accountable, like I was saying like maybe 5 minutes ago, is for men to shut up and get back in the chair and open up the fucking newspaper. That kind of blue pill. That kind of accountability. Because for some reason, due to a blue pill state of mind, I am supposed to take responsibility for little Ray Ray, who's being raised by a single mother across town in the hood, breaking in folks' houses and snatching old ladies' purses. I should have been a mentor to that little dude, little Ray Ray. Like little Ray Ray, who's your father? Do you know? Hey, I'm sorry, man, but listen up. Don't be going out there in the streets and doing wrong. Okay, I'm your leader. I'm the black man. You know, that's see this is these are the scenarios that I come up with when I listen to the feedback. I will just call it feedback from various women and female platforms. Those are the kind of scenarios I come up with when they comment, when they write their articles. And yes, the scenario sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. You know why it sounds ridiculous? Because it is ridiculous. Setting such an expectation for someone, that's like, I'm supposed to just like, I guess, like, swing from building to building and then see some old poor kid in trouble and be like, look, man, I know there's a lot of trouble out here and I know I got a family of my own, but I'm going to take the time to teach you lessons that, you should have been set up for. See, this is how I help. I give healthy suggestions. Like maybe we should try to shift our community back toward the black nuclear family dynamic where there is a mother and a father so the children can have balance and stability as far as at least is their mindset. Now, I know that two-parent home does not guarantee that the kid is going to turn out okay. And honestly, that depends on how their parents were raised. you know, I like to call it the lucky shot. But that which leads me to my next point. Now, some of this is probably going to make you a little upset. And it's one thing that I had to come to terms with and maybe look at a lot of the men in my family that's like that too. But I'm like, this is black men being brutally honest, and I have to be brutally honest with black men sometimes. All our fathers were very blue pill. I'm sorry, they were. Think about it. How many of your fathers really had? Think about it. And I'm not trying to insult black fatherhood or anything like that. I'm not trying to be like these other jackasses out here that demoralize black fatherhood at every turn. And I know that there doesn't need to be any more demoralization of black fatherhood. But our fathers were pretty blue pill. Now, not saying all of them, because, I know I have the millennial age group watching as well. So, the millennial age group, their fathers were more, casual, modern, you know, this is just those kind of guys. But like as far as like the older ones, like when you're getting on in the 40 and the 50 territory, our fathers like really like some of them like during the civil rights movement and post civil rights movement. And I made this point before. They didn't want us risking our lives for anything, any causes, because a lot of them came from that era, and it was like PTSD for them. And this and to say that a lot of our fathers are blue pill isn't trying to insult them. They were just a product of their environment. They were PTSD. It's like they went through that stuff. They saw that stuff. They heard about friends that were killed and lynched. They heard about little girls being blown up at churches. Black people being pulled out their houses and lynched in the middle of the floor of the forest for the pettiest shit. I mean, but what reason was good to pull somebody out of their house? Except on some real just horrible racist shit. So I kind of understand if they had children and they didn't want their children to go through the horrors that they went through. I really hate when, content creators try to use that shit against our fathers. And I know calling our fathers blue pill is not very good. It's not. It's not a good thing. And if our fathers had an understanding of the contextualization of the word blue pill, they wouldn't be happy either. But you know what? You just have to explain. If they're any kind of man, you just got to explain it to them. Because it's like this. How many of you have talked to your father about your voting choice? And he disagreed if you weren't voting for Joe Biden. That he had that pro-Democrat mindset. That sleep mindset. And he pushed back. He was saying all the stuff he made fun of all the other younger people that voted for Joe Biden. He said he was sorry. They shouldn't have committed those crimes. All that stuff. That's pretty much an indication. A refusal to bend back and try to think about it a little realistically. Being afraid to talk about some real shit. Stuff you don't bring to the dinner table type stuff. See, I was one of those guys that I used to do that. I used to do the don't bring the dinner stuff. Don't bring the stuff. Don't bring certain things to the dinner table. I used to bring them to the dinner table, and immediately, oh, here we go. I mean, how many times have you gotten that? Because, see, here's the thing. If you want to talk to anybody about these kinds of things, it's your family members. It's your family members. Those are the ones. Those are the like for me. That's like the dream conversation. For someone you love, and you can actually let them know that you care in that way. But when you introduce the negative aspect, then you're going to be accused of all the things that you see on the internet, like I was listening to a broadcast this morning, and a gentleman who was pretty level-headed got accused of condoning and justifying very sick sexual things. And this guy ain't even on that shit like that. But because he was a black man and he was being extremely factual, which, is facts are stubborn things. I don't care how emotional you get, you cannot defeat a fact that way. They automatically assume that that he was condoning and justifying shit just because he did not go to the emotional side of it just because he wasn't condemning, like he wasn't justifying what was done. Well, he was explaining just what the law was. And the blue pillar, oh man, you must be, you must be doing that, blah blah blah, you're going to jail, blah blah blah. Wasn't being factual at all. Now that's some blue pill shit. What up, Sheed?
What's going on, man? First off, I want to say, oh, yeah, I heard you say the feelings, man.
The
Hey,
feelings.
hey, man, it's crazy. We live in the blue pill world, man. It's blue pill all around us. It's like Neil when he was in the Matrix, man, and he walking around, he just felt like something was wrong. Even before he got that call, from Morpheus that day, the way he was just moving, just felt like someone right. That that's how a lot of us are walking around now. You know, we feel like it's something wrong for the ones that kind of, they've been indoctrinated, live with their mom, they want around too many men, and they get to a point where they like, man, like something ain't right with my life. It, that's that blue pill nature, man. You feel it, but you don't know what to do with it, you know. And once you gain the knowledge, that's what start opening your head. You know what I'm saying? You start developing a little knowledge and, not from hearing, but the whole process of you learning yourself. Because it's one thing to hear the knowledge and regurgitate it and don't know what you're talking about. It's another thing to hear knowledge and start doing some research, looking at books, asking questions, going out here doing a little trial and error with people. That's when you figure it out. Hey, I've been told a lie all my life, man. Everything, because even when you was talking about the whole pill and marriage thing, like even with being married to me, if we're gonna call it the red pill, the whole thing about red pill is being aware. So if I'm married and I'm aware of what's going on, aware of what's around me, and I'm moving different than the most guys who are blue pill and married. Hey, the whole I was under the impression the whole black pill, those are the guys that's not married because they know it's a means to an end. Like, why do it? But the red pill is more about the knowledge. That's why I say it's when it come down to it, man. This space gives so many definitions for so many names, so many words, even throwing the whole simp culture in there. You know, they push a lot of blue pillars of simps. It's like let's get one good definition and let's stick with it and spread it across because we got what close to 300 channels all saying 300 different topics, 300 different things. When are we going to get the true definition of what is?
Yo, that's well said, she. Cause I think like y'all just touched on, it's a different dynamic that's being played out, and we trying to figure it out, one way or another. Because I like to think, like I was saying with the red pill factor, I would like to think a lot of the men who marry are more so considered red pill because those are the guys that understand the dynamics at hand. Like I'm saying, and they've played their card already to the point where it's
I
like I
mean, to
understand
marry.
what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kev,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
saying
yeah,
something?
yeah. No, I was saying like to get married in this climate right now, and to have the mindset, you would have to find someone like like, and I heard the word being thrown around, settle last night, settle, stuff like that. Um, for me, being married was I had to find the right person. I had to find the one that I would say is for me. I know people feel like that's living in fantasy, but I guess that's why it took me so long to get married. That's why I guess I didn't jump in when I was 20 something, and it was my late 30s because I really wanted to make sure that it was the right decision and not just because I felt like that my youth was running out or whatever. Because I'll like it is what it is. I'm a 40 plus man with a daughter that's under 10. It is what it is. Period. So I'm glad I at least have the mindset I have in being a father as opposed to being some young, inexperienced, shiftless guy with a child. So I would think that that would give my child a leg up, and not having somebody who was impulsive and didn't know the world as well as I know the world now. So if that makes any sense. But
Yeah.
the super, but let me give this shout out to this super chat. Kenny B, appreciate the love. Thank you, and yes, long live the habitual line steppers. Yeah, cool shit. So the topic tonight is: do we live in a blue pill world? I already said yeah, yes. We got Sheed We Hear, Epsilon Pianki, and now we got James Keels. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm just tuning in, listen to your channel, man. I subbed to your channel a while ago, so I just got the notification, man. My thing is,
What's going on,
you
brother?
know what, man, nothing much, man. Salute to everybody else that's on the panel. Salute to people that's in the chat room, everybody that's in the clouds. Salute. But yeah, man, y'all talking about the red pill, blue pill, and everything like that. If you've been in this space long enough, you should have a grasp of what it is, and you understand who the founders of the red pill philosophy is, and what it had brought to your life and the journey that you came across. You know what I'm saying? So I was introduced to this space in 2016, I think. You know what I'm saying? Heard the Angry Man on here. Then that led me to BGS, but it's not red pill to me. It's not a space, man. It's a mindset, and you got to carry wherever you go, whether you're in the space, where you're in the red pill world. I mean, the blue pill world or whatever. It's 24. It's 24/7, man. You just can't turn it off, turn it on, put it on the shelf, and grab it when you want to. You have to embrace it internally, and not a lot of men's have done that yet. I don't. That's what I believe. There's a few that have. So that is my take. I don't want to be long winded.
Okay, that's fine. But like with the context that I had introduced in this broadcast, as far as red pill and blue pill is, red pill means you get it, blue pill means you don't get it. So I do
Facts.
think that's in the context of mindset. By the way,
Right.
I don't think that it is a space thing, but supposedly the black manosphere is a red pill space.
Yeah.
Is a red pill dwelling, so to speak, uh, where most of the guys are willing to have willing to have the uncomfortable conversations that trigger people. But
Right.
this, as far as people's feelings, I like fuck them. But I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you've been a subscriber for quite some time. Just let me know that people just aren't hitting the button and not coming back here. That I really appreciate that. By the way.
Of course, man. I'm just trying to get further and further away for people who have that blue pill attitude, and I just don't want that to rub off on me, man. Because when you come to red pill, man, you have to make sacrifices in your life, man. Whether it's even your own mother, your sister, you know what I mean? Close friends who you've been cool with since 30, 40 years, what have you. And these are the people that you have to come across, because dealing with red pill to me, man, it's a lonely journey, man. This on my behalf and what I've been through, dealing with child support, um, dealing with death losses and stuff like that, dealing with financial problems. Even told my own mother that I voted for Trump, man, and she turned a blind eye towards me, and we not even seeing eye to eye, you know. So that is my testament.
All right. And anytime you feel like giving any more input or responding to the panelists, feel free to as well. So thanks for coming up. Uh,
Yes, sir.
but we got Donnie, my habitual line stepper brother. What's going on, Donnie?
What up? Fuck your couch, nigga.
Yeah, of course.
What's up, man?
What's going on,
Hey,
fellas?
you
How
ain't
y'all
shit, Donnie. You ain't shit, man.
And James, I ain't mean hop down. You could have stayed up here, brother. But I mean, I understand if you got other stuff you got to do. But thanks for coming up, James Kills. But go ahead, Donnie.
Yeah. What was the question? Is this a blue pill space? Where we living in a
Blue
blue
pill
pill world?
world. Blue pill world. Really. Here's something I want you to think about. It's like the pushback you get from people when you start telling the truth and start dropping facts. Is
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like it makes you wonder, like, why am I getting pushback on things that are not going to be a direct harm to our community? You know,
Yeah. I mean, I guess the dynamic for me has always been like, since I was 13 years old, I remember I went on a little kitty date, and I knew bitches wasn't shit ever since then. So this is why I would say I wasn't more than a major thing. I just, nigga, this shit ain't right. Like, hold on now. And then when you start talking about it, people try to shush you, or they try to tell you that what you're saying you're not supposed to say, even though it's true, right? The dynamic is given to, especially towards women, to have this Disney relationship. Even if she does something wrong, it was done wrong for the right reasons, and you're supposed to just take that. And reality is completely fucking different. Like, I'll never be running around with a glass slipper looking for. Hey, have you seen that bitch? Hey, fellas, have you seen this girl who showed up with a pumpkin and she was kicking with these glass slippers? Nigga, I'm just trying to see if these feet fit her feet. The whole dynamic to that even story is the bitch was lying from Jump Street. She got the nigga hooked, and now he pull up on her. Was she a homeless? Well, she ain't homeless, but she's the maid of the family. The whole dynamic to that movie is she was lying to that man. Now he's supposed to come and sweep her off her feet. Everything we've ever ingested in the media tells us we should be quote unquote blue pill. I just don't fall for this shit. I see bitches as evil, and you got to call them out for what it is. Get what you want in this world.
yes, because bitches is evil, and more important, like my thing is, if okay, we as adults is whatever. Like with men, don't get caught slipping because we've been under this system so long. We know what to expect when we take certain actions. Doesn't make it right, but we know what to expect. So that's our accountability. The fact of the matter is, there's no accountability seemingly coming from the female, most of the females. A lot of the females, their eyes are starting to wake up, and I have to give credit where credit is due. There's a lot more females getting tired of other female shit. But there's still like a very large, large number of opposite. The majority really are oppositional toward any of our talking points, and is willing to, I guess, deliver the slander to other spaces because there was not that they couldn't debunk a truth that was being shared over here. So the responsibility is on the adults to accept it. But when it starts to negatively affect the children, our future, whether you like it or not, whether you don't have a child or not, because some of you out there, y'all getting robbed at gunpoint by 13-year-olds, and you wonder where that breakdown is. What happened to that child from the time they entered this world to the time you're looking down the barrel of that gun led that child to that point? Is it something you want to see less of, or you're going to be sitting in the fucking rocking chair with the newspaper with your legs crossed with your pipe cigar, not saying a goddamn thing? It's okay to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Conversations never hurt anyone. Now, who's that was about to
Yeah.
interrupt me? What's going on, Coffee? How you doing? Thank
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for letting me come up. Um, I'm here taking notes, man, because I know that in this space, I put it this way. I know that on this podcast and Roger's podcast, y'all have stayed consistent about the meaning of the red pill and the blue pill, addition to the terminology of the manosphere, because a lot of these different words, a lot of these different pills are thrown around, and I hear so many different meanings, and that comes from different people, and the panel may have a different meaning as the person who's giving the show. So I'm just taking notes, man. That's about it. I think that I've always been red pill, but I think I've been neutral when it came to real life situations. I'm tired of a lot of women's shit too, and of course I told you I came to that conclusion the other night, you know, but yeah, I'm just listening in, man. I'll pop in here and there, when I have something to say.
All right, cool. Thanks for coming up as usual. So you're an alpha, correct?
1906 all day.
All right, cool. Fraternities. All right. So, guys, will you consider yourselves any kind of pill? I mean, as Coffee said, he considers himself red pill. Donnie, I probably know there's probably not much. You're probably indifferent to the pill thing, just like I am. But you just explained it in a way that you are kind of red pillish. What about you, Pianki? Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I
No,
would like to say.
Yeah,
I would like
Donnie's
to say
Borgin.
so. Oh, go ahead. My bad. You good? You
We just
good?
saying your internet. We were just saying Donnie internet one shit for listening. No, go ahead, Bianchi.
Hey, y'all can kick rocks. I'm in the back of the grocery store, but no, I always say I was born in the Matrix. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying I'd like to look at it and think of myself as the same too. I say red, but I'm kind of here and there with the color pill thing, because like Kev was breaking down earlier in the show. I mean, it's starting to get like ridiculous once you hear too many color coded pills being thrown out there. But on that note, I would like to say, yeah, definitely red. I mean, I've known that since I was younger. Just like how Donnie was saying, when you catch on to a lot of things. And not only that, dealing with women, like a lot of times your own experiences too, I like to say. So, me coming up, for my moms, being a single moms, and then her being close to being married, I did see sides of that, as a child, where I'm just calling out certain things, and it's like, damn, that wasn't normal for a child, you know what I'm saying? So I saw a lot of things differently, and I called her out on a lot of stuff as a child. So that's how I know my mind works differently. But I always love my moms. Everybody always gonna love their mother. But yeah, that's just how it is, man. You come into that game early, ain't no turning back.
Yeah, you know what I used to think when I was younger, like which would probably be the earliest, my earliest red pill moment. And this is gonna sound funny to y'all. I was like, what is wrong with showing titties on TV? That was one of the first red pillish questions I asked. It's like, what's wrong with showing a titty on TV? Might have been a little strong and like, what Kev? That sounds more like puberty, guy. No, I'm just because I didn't feel like that it would trigger some manic episode. It made me just want to go out and grab titties all day. I just want to see a titty. But Shaka Zulu made my dreams come true. But and I know that sounds kind of off a little bit, but let me be real for a second. Okay. And I really hate to, I overheard my mother and my auntie talking. There was this baseball player named Dave Winfield. I don't know if y'all remember. Dave Winfield was getting a divorce. And what they were doing was talking about what the wife was getting out of the divorce. And my mother or my auntie, I'm not going to tell you which one, was saying that, hey, yeah, oh yeah, I'm happy. She getting half his money and all that. And then I turned around like, I don't think that's good. She didn't earn that. And they just kind of gave me this look. like you know, what is stupid, like look what this old stupid little kid talk about right here. You know, like whatever. But I got the concept that a man was being screwed, because my thought process about Dave Winfield was he was the one going out there playing that ball and making that money like that. Where is it that she deserved any of that shit? You know, for whatever reason, just because she screwed him or whatever. Now I wasn't thinking like that, like the screwed part as a kid, but you know, the fact that a woman can take half of a man's shit just because they got married, that was strange and funny to me, and I didn't think it was right. So I would say probably that happened around 9, 10 years old. Maybe my earliest red pill moment besides. What up?
Is that one of your earliest memories, Ken? You said 9, 10? That's where it hit you, right?
That's what kind of hit me, man. About 9 or 10 years. Like, dude, no joke. I've been red pill since 9. But, you know, it just, I mean, I didn't consider it red pill. You know, of course we didn't call it that. You know, like I said, red pill, blue pill came from the Matrix. And I think the Matrix came out in 1998. You know, so, you know, but just as far as the concept, it was like, I knew something wasn't right. And then, like, I started to see more signs of feminism. They had this Now March, and back then Now was an acronym for National Organization for Women. And, you know, my other part of that was women's rights. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I had already heard of racism and civil rights by then. It's like, what? Are they denying access to water fountains for women or some shit like that? Men's only water fountains? Like, what's going on? And, you know, I would learn later that they felt like that was more about job discrimination or whatever. But feel how you want to feel about that. But like the rhetoric that I used to hear from women who would get on TV was basically like, you know, it was basically a men ain't shit rhetoric. And the fact of the matter was that I was on the side that would one day eventually become a man. So if movements like that were to take root, then what would be the after effects?
Man, very interesting. I'll tell you this. I think that I've always been a leader. You know, I would listen to my mom tell me shit. I would listen to my dad tell me shit, you know, but I was always going with what I felt like going. I've been grown since I was 15 years old, man. You know, I left home at 16.
If I could interrupt you for a second, I think that would probably make you more of an individual. There would probably be other determinative factors in leadership, but that's just me. You know, not disagree with how you feel about yourself, but I would say that leadership does start with being an individual and not following the trends and the norms that everyone would, you know, as long as you don't go too far off the path and, you know, start like wearing like alien mask and shit, thinking that's shit normal. But go ahead,
you got that community too, man. They call the furries, the what you call them, cosplay people, Comic Con. They do it, trust me, and they get into full character. But that's not me. But
hey, let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Like at the Comic Cons and all that stuff, if there were two people dressed as pills and one of them was dressed as a red pill and the other one dressed as a blue pill, you think they would start fighting?
That's funny.
I think so.
No, I think it would be more of a joke between friends because it's supposed to be fun. However, it would get a message out there. You know, a lot of people are visual. They could see it better. Damn, what's up with this red pill, this blue pill? Then you got the black pill. Then you got the pink pill. You know, you got even a purple pill. You know, where you halfway there going red. You know.
Yeah, you also got a green pill when you be smoking that John Boogie. Like
John Boogie. What the hell is a John Boogie?
I don't know, man. They got all kinds of weird names. They got all kinds of all kinds of names for the can I buy or whatever. Like I decided that I was gonna quit forever when I ran across some Bernie Sanders. Like, you know, I was gonna get it and then I was gonna be like, that's it forever. Because
I just got
truly
that seed.
say what?
I said I just got that seed. It's a Bernie Sanders seed. It's an indica.
Oh God. Is it indica? Like, oh,
well,
man.
it's a hybrid, but it's a hybrid with the leaning towards indica. I just got the seed today, so I'm gonna plant it, and it should pop in the next couple of days.
Oh, you grow?
Nice.
Yeah, I don't even smoke like that, but I like growing it for some reason. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that got those kind of businesses out here that they grow. They got growing houses, independent growing houses.
And you know what though? That's a very lucrative business. And one thing that I feel like that, you know, even though some people feel the way they feel about, you know, partaking in smoking marijuana and, you know, cannabis or vaping it or however you take it in with edibles or whatever, that's a very lucrative business. And what I would say that it is leaning more toward legalization nationwide at the federal level every day. So we need to make sure as a people that we get some kind of foot in that business because it makes a lot of money and it could be the start on the path to providing generational wealth. It's like I'm just saying like feel how you want to feel about it. It doesn't kill anyone and you can make a lot of fucking money from it. That's all I'm saying. And then there is go ahead, whoever's trying to talk.
How you know I was gonna feel a certain way about it? I guess you felt it, huh?
I mean,
guess what? My thing is, man, you know, I would love to have that kind of business, but I'm just that type dude, man. I can't be around that too long. If you smoke, I've never had a drink, smoke, nothing a day in my life, but that weed, I'd rather you smoke a damn Black and Mild. That weed smell like skunk. See, in California, you don't know the difference between weed and skunk because it smells just like that. That's why I moved to a place where there's no smoking allowed. If you get caught smoking here, you will get kicked out.
Okay.
You know?
Well, Nino, where you in? Nino, you in the old folks home?
No, man. I live in not bragging, but I live in a real nice luxury.
I know.
You know, it's really nice. You know, and
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, there's different ways to ingest it. There's ways you can make tinctures. You can put it
that sign so big on the gate. They put that sign so big on the gate, man. When you move here, to the point to where you will, you know, it'll make you not want to move here. They watch you.
Weird trip. Yeah, y'all gotta check it out. Growing is easy, and there's all kind of shit that you can make from it. Like I just play around with the little shit with the shit. I'm actually about to make a tincture with 195 proof alcohol. It's called Everclear. And a couple drops to get you lit. So I'm about to figure out how to make this little recipe. So
that's what's up. Yeah, my pop.
Did you say Everclear?
He made something like that.
Yeah, the Everclear is supposed to extract it. It's not really for the alcohol purposes, but that's how it's supposed to extract out.
That's liquid gas right there. What you trying to do?
Oh yeah.
No, me and the missus drank that shit last week, and it killed us.
I bet it did.
20, that shit killed the entire. I made Jello shots. Everybody was looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Listen. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was bad.
You know what, man? People are getting really creative in that because you know they got a lot of those houses around here. not really houses. What do they call? You can go buy your weed and you can go buy edibles.
The dispensary.
Yeah, dispensary. Yeah. I mean, they got them in San Francisco. They got them in Sacramento. I know they don't have them in little towns, like with families because they voted it out. But they're mainly in the bigger cities. I know they don't have them in Davis. They definitely got them in Oakland.
It's recreational now, so you're more than likely capable of going on Facebook at any time and looking in the marketplace. There's going to be somebody selling it. If not, it might be on OfferUp and all that shit. Like I see it on OfferUp and
damn,
like it's just become legal here. It's just become legal here. So I've already seen people in here with advertising. Do you want brownies and cupcakes? We've got them. We want lollipops. It's all that.
They do it on Facebook. Shit. What is it? Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Man.
So it's out here. I just play with the shit. Like I don't sell weed. I give a lot of the weed I have to friends and family.
Now I think that if you're a really good smoker if you can't smell it on you. Cigarettes, because I've been around people, man, they say I smoke. I'm like, really? But you're right, Donnie. It's just now being legalized, but people been doing it forever here. And the cops don't fuck with you even before it was legalized. I never thought I'd see the day where I never thought I'd see the day where I would go in corporate America downtown in San Francisco and see a white woman, with blonde hair on break time, just puffing it up on the sidewalk and in front of JP Morgan Chase. It's funny because they just blaze it up.
You killing me, man. I have my mic on low, but you killing me over here. What you saying? Because again, we don't know who we are. You know who used to run the tobacco and the marijuana industry? The original natives of America. Why don't you go to the bathroom and look in the mirror at yourself? And then I had to cut it out because you saying I can't determine if it's a skunk or if it's some weed. Yo, that's that weed. It's called skunk. The only reason why this is going down because America has made so much money off putting brothers in jail for some fucking weed, which is a natural plant. But they push that goddamn alcohol shit on your ass or them goddamn cigarettes. These bastards. That's a fact. These bastards so fucking dirty, man. Dirty. Check this out. I'm coming from the way side of life. During Hitler's time, they was doing disease control shit then. AIDS is not nothing new. They were so fucking dirty that they were able to crystallize the disease, the germ. And you know what them fuckers did? They turned around and started spraying the disease on the tobacco. It's not the tobacco that's dirty. It's the goddamn shit that they spray on the fucking shit. So it's like
Gerald,
we should be controlled.
Gerald, the Borg had you.
See what? Say it again.
No, you sound good. I don't know. Yeah, I think he said he was Borg.
You sound loud and clear, but I just want to say, I don't even know about weed, man. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is how. Now, give me a green pill on this shit here. Green mean to me is that you just don't understand certain things.
That's a terminology. Yes,
but hear me out. I found in Little 5 Points in Atlanta. If you know what that is,
I know what it is.
My youngest brother found 8 ball of cocaine, and he brought it to me. I said,
and that ain't it.
He found it in Little 5 Points, right? And I told him, I said, I don't know what this is. It was like a tennis ball,
right?
And I had took it from him. I said, "What are you doing with this?" He's like, "Man, give me that." Do you know how much money that is? I said, "No," and I threw that shit in the trash because I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
you heard me say "whoa." I said, "Whoa, whoa."
You messing up the ticket. You messing up the ticket, man.
Man, my youngest brother, them man, they don't want to be around me because they say I blow they high. Even when I walk in the room, when
I'm
I
not
walk in
gonna
the
lie,
room,
dog.
when I
You
walk in
making
the
me want
room,
to twist one up, and you about to blow mines too. Because I'm like, wait,
hey, Joe, no, listen. My brother was like, when I come to their house, he's like, hey man, don't do that around him because he don't do that. You know, he used to work for the prison. Don't. I'm laughing like a motherfucker because working inside the prison, you see motherfuckers doing shit. It's up to you to if you want to say something about it. I'm like this. Motherfuckers doing their time, they ain't got nothing to lose. Especially brothers got life. I ain't fucking with you and you ain't fucking with me. Do your thing, man.
Right. Facts.
But that's what they do when they see me automatically. Hey man, my brother, he went to college. Don't do this. Don't do that around him, man. Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, God damn, can I get a break?
Hey,
Well,
Hey, your brother was
hey,
a
let me
blue
ask a
pill.
question.
Oh man.
Hey, can I ask y'all a question? This ever been y'all? May I direct your attention to the screen?
yes.
Uh,
you wasn't gonna catch me, nigga. I use Visine.
He looked
My
more
mama
than
was a
hot.
That
nurse,
look
nigga. She
hot.
had to come in there with Visine. I had
Yo,
to
that look
stare.
like my uncle, yo. That look like one of my uncles, I swear.
He
and
looked
it's
more than
crazy
hot.
because
He
they
looked like he
already
just
say
got
black
down.
folks' eyes get red already, so you already know
Hey, hey,
the drugs just make it worse for us. So nigga wake up in the
hey,
morning, he tired, his eyes already bloodshot red.
Hey, yo,
yeah,
fellas,
man.
can I tell y'all a situation that I had yesterday, man? Like, I don't mean to cut y'all
sure,
off or nothing, man. Like, I'm
sure. Go
laughing
ahead.
my ass off, bro. This happened to me yesterday with my ex, right? She sent the package. She thought that she sent her package to her house that she at now, but she ended up sending the package to her to the old house where me and her used to stay at like 5 years ago, whatever. So the package didn't arrive, right? But she called me. Well, actually, she spoke to my mom. My mom called me at work, told me what happened. I'm like, yo, don't even go over there, yo. Because he did me so dirty dealing with court, you know what I'm saying? And text messages and like a lot of bull crap. So she called me. I told her, yo, I'm not going over there. You could go get the fucking package yourself. Knock on the damn door. That's it. But on my simp day, my red pill, you know what I'm saying, 5 years ago, I would have went my ass over there, talked to the neighbor, got the package and all of that. Waited for her to come through, and started talking to her and shit. You know what I mean? So this is a small thing, but it's a big thing to me to where my journey got to where I'm at now, man. So I just wanted to just lay that down, fellas.
Avoid that shit at all costs, man. You just heard Kev say some shit about Dave Winfield. What Kev forgot to mention about Dave Winfield. Do y'all know that Robin Givens' bitch ass mother came after Dave Winfield when he was going through all that shit and said that he gave me a venereal disease? That's what made me call
Wow.
in, Kev, when you said that about what your aunt said. So the fact is that they're losing control. And the fact is that they're losing control is because we got to look another way. Now, I don't know if I'm going to if this is going another way by the blue pill, but I hope this blue pill helps. These son of a bitches have quoted and said that this is the biggest transferring of wealth. America has been bankrupt since 1933. So what all these fucking rappers talking about, this fiat money, is just what it is. It's Federal Reserve money. Now, that's a move on the chessboard. Here's the second move. What just happened? And Don, I know you got, because I thought about you when it happened, because you ain't shit for now paying attention. That GameStop shit. Really, that GameStop shit.
Oh yeah.
That made ordinary people
Mm.
millionaires. Millionaires. I'm talking about ordinary people
Wow.
who got 9 to 5, who trying to come up, brothers, child support, women going through shit. Motherfuckers came up. Them son of a bitches put on a tampon, went to Robin Hood, say, motherfucker, you bet not. And then that side, the wealthy, went to the president of the United States of America, and they said, fuck that. They ain't getting shit. Matter of fact, if they're going to get paid, they're going to have to come back, sell it on the low low. Now,
Mm.
that shit shifted everybody saying cryptocurrency. Now, me thinking outside the box as a chess player, and I don't play chess. I just put it apply chess to life.
What the fuck? I'm
What?
sorry. Just no. When you say you apply chess to life, I didn't wait for you to say to life before I say what the fuck. So, okay, continue, Gerald.
No, you said what the fuck, so say it. It's on your mind. Say it.
No, what the
Don't let it
fuck?
go.
No. I let it go because that's all I had to say, sir.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is,
what you want me to say? In the words of Chad Wheeler, what the fuck?
yeah. But so let's make sure money makes the world go round. They cannot control this decentralization because the banks need us. All of y'all have bank accounts. These motherfuckers, when you go to work, they touch your money 5 times before you touch your money. When you put your money in the bank, them SOBs charge you to hold the money, but turn around and use your money to loan people the money to make money and then come back and give you an interest of maybe 15 cents a year. Fuck the banks and the Soroses. Fuck them.
Wow.
Kamala Harris and Biden. So you guys have to begin to look into this right now. And the reason I say this is the strongest reason. The motherfuckers say this. This shit won't happen for another 500 years. Think of your generation over and over and over again. See, this is why they keep putting this shit about these females in front of us. Sooner or later, Kevin Samuel's gonna wake up and say, I can't talk about this no more because the delusion. Remember, I said this to y'all. In the Western culture, the white rabies rabbit is the most overrated thing on this side of the planet. The black woman, your sister, your cousin, the neighbor, my mama, my daughters are the most delusional motherfuckers on the planet, and they would rather wait on Jesus.
That breaks, dude. Breaks. Dude, man, like, do you ever tell a joke? Like, do you ever is it you're dark?
Let me answer
man.
that. Let me answer that.
You
I
are
can
so
answer that.
dark, man.
I can, you know what? It has nothing to do with dark because you say tell a joke. I used to be on that side till then I started realizing reality and truth. And one thing that'll never go away, reality and truth. Now, if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong than be delusional. People have died. People have suffered. We on the bottom of the barrel. Remember, I told you this, Kev. The only curse I got that I'm really regretting now is I have punched a time clock called life. It's a fucking headache because I've seen it from that point to the modern point. So if it's dark, well, that's some dark fucking clouds and they've been over our asses for a long fucking time. For a long time. And I'm seeing shit that I don't like seeing. Big ass motherfucking 6'3" men dressing up like a woman. That's fucking fucked up to my eyeballs. I can't unsee that shit no more. Like, wait, where are we going with this? So I've always concentrated on economics, and I don't mind it. You gotta have it. And from what they're trying to make our children, our grandchildren, those children, indentured servants. I don't like that, dog. I'd rather fight for your daughter and not fight at all. And if it's dark, then I'm sorry. I'd rather go out being Shaka Zulu. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Hey, man, I think you make us laugh, too. You know, if anything, you do have people attention.
Thank you, man.
But at the same time, the energy do go a little bit different. You know.
Hey, I'm just glad it puts. Hey, that's why I like Donnie's title. I always told Donnie, I like this shit. You ain't shit for watching. You ain't shit for listening. Sometimes you ain't shit for not even paying attention. Again, I hang around millionaires. I know some people with money, and they even say, dude, you really come hard. But shit, that reality is reality. It's like a rock. If it hits you, you gonna bark. Woof.
But that's what I like too about it. You know, I feel always where, you know, Kev coming from, because, you know, he the big dog and he got to have balance for his show and shit, you know. But that dark side is where a lot of the red pillness, I think, stems from too, in his own way. Because I mean, when we look at, you know, history, all civilizations, it's like it was an initiation when you talk about like Kemites and the Kushites and different, you know, even the
Yep.
Hindus and stuff. This is initiation. Everybody can't come. So of course it's gonna be the beta class, and it's gonna be the blue, whatever blue pill you want to call it, and it's gonna be those ones who's higher up that know what's going on. They don't deal with the fuck shit, and you can't get up there. You can't come into this class over here. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? This is exclusive right here. The knowledge is exclusive, everything. So once it comes into that point where it's like that movie with Denzel, Book of Eli, where
Yeah,
people say
man.
ain't no more books and all that stuff. Not saying we're gonna get there, but I mean in the mind frame, where it's like people gonna just be left behind, basically. That's how I see it.
But you know what,
Yep.
though, Dr. Malachi Z. York, the same shit that Gerald talking about, has
Preach.
been preaching that like wait for a very long time. And I'm talking about I was a little boy in the 80s and was reading this shit, and it was so scary to where I look at it now as a fully grown man. It's everything he's talking about, Gerald's talking about.
He was at blue. He was that pill. You exactly, because I read it too, and I was like you when I read. I'm like, okay, is anybody else reading this? And it was like, no. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be this long range and go for it by myself. And it was some.
I read some of those. I read some of those scrolls too. Yeah, I've read scrolls too. I read the teachings of Dr. Malachi Z. York. But what happened about Malachi Z. York? They put him away forever. Now, now, also, Gerald, I have a question for you.
I'm gonna try to answer. Go ahead.
You're gonna try to answer? Okay. Well,
I'm gonna try.
All right. Well, we're gonna see right now.
Let's go.
What comment did you remember making that got your YouTube comment ability suspended?
I think it was me being on this show, pushing out a lot of that real pill stuff, and I think they was like, and I came back one day, and that was it because I said things, and my thing is, if I can cut off that from economics from being transferred, then that helps brothers or any man. And I think that's when they came at me because I was on your show one day and I went back and they suspended the account. And now everybody's talking like this. Everybody's talking about that chick that runs YouTube.
How many channels do you?
I actually have no channel. Your channel was the main channel, and your channel was actually growing then. So there's some things I said, my boy heard it. My boys was listening, and they saying, you shouldn't have said that. But I'm glad you said it.
Comment. No. Because see, if you say it in a broadcast, they'll take down that broadcast. So it can't be like they're separating voices and stuff. I don't think their technology is that thorough. But I would probably say it's probably some comments that you typed out. Maybe
you think so?
Yeah, because that's like voice recognition for something like this with so many different voices at so many times. That is far fetched for if you were to do some kind of technology that would connect StreamYard to. I mean, it's already connected to YouTube, but voice recognition as a way of suspension. First of all, they would have to edit your voice out,
right?
If they didn't want the comment heard, and they would notify the content creator. And I know sort of kind of the mechanics of how YouTube works. So if it was your voice, and if it's something you said in the broadcast, you would have gotten the broadcast flagged for inappropriate content. Now, if it were a comment and you made the same repeated comments, like, maybe you spelt out the expletive completely instead of censoring it. And now they suspend you for censored comments on Facebook as well, for anyone that doesn't know it. Then maybe if you were saying too many shits or too many fucks or too many fuck yous, or maybe you spelled out F-A, 2 G's.
Kev, I just realized what I said. I just realized what I said. And when you said that, I know what I said. It was me and some guys who else got kicked off. We basically went in on Biden and Kamala Harris about what Kamala Harris did to a lot of brothers in California and about the 1994 crime bill. That, now what you said, yes, because they blocked a lot of people because it was during that time that a lot of this was going on.
Did you include a lot of expletives in your speach?
Probably.
Like fuck and
probably
and
said
fuck that bitch and all the other stuff. Did
I
you
probably
say anything?
I probably did.
Fuck
I probably
that bitch
did.
Kamala, something like that. Yeah, because that right there was probably it.
Yep,
especially for the vice president elect, because they used to have this thing where if you would even said anything where you would suggest a negative action against the president, the Secret Service would bust down your door. If you had said any or not, well, not I'm thinking in terms of internet and widespread communication. I'm talking about like publicly or something like that, or
Right.
if you were caught on camera,
they would come
or,
to
or
your house.
or you were caught on camera saying it. Yeah, you were getting a visit by the Secret Service. So all of this telecommunication, all of this social media stuff where you're saying wilded out the way shit, that's their Secret Service. So if you're saying bad things, like especially with the insurrection at the White House, which I have my own questions about that, but what
Me
the
too.
media is saying is insurrection. Especially with that, these airwaves are probably very sensitive at this point.
Very.
They're looking for anything suggestive at this point. So it's like this. Whenever, and I encourage anyone, whenever you are a panelist on someone else's platform, and this is for the audience and for anyone listening, you need to be mindful of what you say on these people's platform, especially mine, because I'm not gonna say, oh my God, I worked so hard to build this platform, because there are plenty of people that work hard to build their platforms and then they were taken down because somebody on their panel or whatever couldn't control what the fuck they were saying. Like, it's one thing to want to tell everyone the truth, but it's another thing to inadvertently destroy someone else's platform based on something maybe you should have held until, say, the after party. So I'm just saying, for I'm even mindful of that when I go on other people's platforms, and I barely do that, and that is for reasons. I mean,
Well,
not, but let me finish. That's all I'm gonna say at the end of the day. When you guys decide to build, when you guys decide to start YouTube channels, I'll be more than happy to come on those platforms. But keep in mind that I will do everything that I possibly can to conduct myself to preserve your platform, because it is something that you can make a little money off of. It is. And even if the money isn't important, even if you want just the message to get out, then I am considerate of that as well. Because if your channel gets shut down, it won't be because of me. And over here, I'm a damn sure make sure it's not because of you. That's
well, I was
all
gonna
I'm saying.
they're not going to shut it down because YouTube and all of them losing money. And I'm talking about big money, because since you could tell me, you could put on the
I don't give a fuck, man.
Ayatollah.
I'm not putting enough of a dent in YouTube for me to even matter at this point. The point is, for me right now, is to put on good shows and to ensure the survival of this channel for now. So I'm not even like, okay, if I were making YouTube, like I'm maybe like a little bit in the algorithm, but we ain't talking about them kind of numbers till I reach 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, stuff like that. Okay. Also, is there anybody backstage? Because I've been on the screens here for a while. Let me see. No, there's some people that actually kind of left. Okay. All right.
Damn it, Donnie left. Why did Donnie leave?
Well, Donnie, he got Donnie got a kid, so something may be going on with his son. So, I mean,
Okay, but you ain't going nowhere. But I can guarantee you this, and we could go back to it when we talked about farming. We talk about economics. See, that's what they don't want you to talk about. In even though you say it's dark, it's extremely light.
I didn't say dark. No, I didn't say that was dark. No,
okay.
You start going into the every woman in your family is, they're delusional. Fuck that. Like, dude, let me tell you something, man. Whatever your personal experience is, not everyone wants to hear that. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I know the truth. I know how delusional some of these females are, but at the same time, I can't spend my entire time saying that. Like, it's like, okay, now what? It's like, now what? So it's like that's why I said dark, just for clarity purposes. I
Okay,
do not have a problem with black men expressing themselves, period. But
and
what I'm saying is it doesn't always have to be gloom and doom. It doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't
true
always.
that, and and and,
I
and I
like the
true
game.
that.
Go ahead, Joe.
And I say true that, and I sometimes say I've mentioned this to this platform. Maybe we should stop talking about them, talk about the future, and talk about economics.
Okay,
Because
well,
this thing is going to be, because what's happening is they showing us things in front of our face, such as Joe Biden is the president and Kamala Harris is the vice president, only to find out, y'all, they filmed this before even it happened. So it's like a movie going on. It's like, okay, what the hell is going on? But I decided to peep around the corner and look at the money. Once Donald J. Trump put that Federal Reserve into the U.S. Treasury, that's the same exact thing that Kennedy was trying to do. And they took him out. So honestly, Donald Trump was a chess piece on the chessboard because the military is running the American government. So that's why sometimes I say this. I didn't mean to throw this out there, but you just mentioned about your aunt. I was just saying things in my family. I heard other men have already kind of separated from their family because they was trying to tell them the same thing. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, brother. I mean,
hey, can I say something? But I get where he's coming from, Gerald. I like what you say, but I also have respect Kevin too. But I want to say that with all the shit that's going on right now, and they already, not one black dot was in that White House when maybe one or two, but they were hidden. But they trying to figure out where are the black people who support Trump, who was doing all that crazy shit. So they still doing investigations. No, I'm telling you, because they don't want you. They probably would look at you and say, "Damn, he sound like a radicalist," and and they would probably try to come at you even on here. So my thing is, I get where Kevin coming from to an extent, and I know you don't mean any harm, but I guess you just want us to stay on the topic. That's it.
Yeah, I looked it up though. I looked it up. You know what I'm saying? The people that voted for Trump, I think it's in it's somewhere, man, where this family just bought like 250 acres of land, man, and they got like an all black
Yes.
town, man. And
Yeah,
I
that's
just Googled
cool,
this
man.
yesterday. I just Googled this other thing yesterday where there's like 43 or 42 black banks, man, throughout the states nationwide. So these people are creating generational wealth, like this brother is saying. But you're not gonna find these brothers who got this money on social media, like, because they know that they gotta stay low key and they always moving their money around. Just like he said, he used chess in his everyday life, but at a lower point with me in my personal life, I support different platforms, but I also see myself spending unnecessary money, and I need to know when he was talking about the banks and how the banks go around 5 times before you even take your money, and then they give you back your money, then your APR go up. You know what I'm saying? Because mine's high right now, and I need to know another outlet because I've been hearing about cryptocurrency,
You
but
need to
I don't
become
know
your
too
own
much
bank.
about it. I don't know a lot
Yes.
about it. So I definitely need to generate more revenue because you need 7 different
Entities
revenue
to make
fields,
money.
7 entities to make money because money changes its hands 7 times over. And but people got this thing that's called reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? So they always want something for free without giving nothing back in return. And that's our mindset. Well, not this platform, but I'm just saying people in general, that's their mindset, like at a lower level. They always want something for free, but don't want to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you create the Chinatowns. That's how you create the Puerto
Oh, they
Rican
balling.
festivals and their police task force, like the Jewish, like they intercepted the freaking police task force. You know what I'm saying? Like other entities intertwined with the firemen and so on and so forth in the state, in the Senate. So I need to find another stream of income, man. That is something that I'm personally dealing with my own
You
self when I look
sound
in the
you
reality.
You sound young. You sound very young. You should
Yeah,
actually just
man. I'm
open.
41, man. I'm 41.
Oh, that's young. That's young. I think we all young. I think that
Right.
even Kev, we all should definitely just peek at cryptocurrency. Just peek at it. It will pique your interest. You know, if you get somebody like Warren
Okay.
Buffett, I don't mean to be dark again, but Warren Buffett will say, "Oh, Bitcoin is rat poison," and then you turn around and look behind your back. He done dumped almost 50 billion into Bitcoin. Like, wait, you just said it was rat poison, but you just dumped 50 million in it. I take the Arsenio Hall thing, Kev, things that make you go,
But you know, they made a lot of people curious, even in when you do the Cash App, you see the Bitcoin thing, you see Chime, they talk about Bitcoin, you know, all those.
yes.
Make me
So,
curious too, but I know very, very young guys, you know, I ain't real old myself, but you know, young, like 20, 25, they are
yes.
really into it.
Yeah, well, cause see, they've been denied, and it's sad they've been denied because remember now we're going to a culture that they had to grab a hold to gravitate to something. And Ice Cube and all of them guys selling out that they was real thugs and gangsters, they lied to them dudes. Them dudes wasn't no gangsters; they were artists. But some dudes went out there and lived this gangster life, and where did it land them? It landed them in prison. So they felt betrayed. So now as young as you guys are, I gotta look at something else because you can't keep turning on the printing machine.
Well,
It's backed
most
by
of the guys
nothing.
that came out of prison, they came straight in. If they came out within the last 2 years, they went into Bitcoin. My cousin's son, he pretty big with it. You know, he got out of prison 2 years ago, and now
See?
he driving BMW, Mercedes, got a whole bunch of money in the bank. You know, and that don't mean you got a whole bunch, but I'm just
Right,
saying, you know, things that he missed out on, he's trying to make up for because he did go to prison
right,
at 14 and he didn't get out until
right,
he
right.
25.
Now I have a question for the chat room and for the leader of the crew. Tell me the truth. What did y'all learn in high school and college? Really? Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I learned that we live in a blue pill world. That's what I learned. That's what I fucking learned. Okay? That's what, yeah, the topic. I learned that I live in a world full of blue pill ass people. That's what I learned. Okay.
And
What did you
that's
learn in high school, Gerald?
the same goddamn thing you learned. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. They
I learned
didn't
some
teach
shit.
us.
I learned some things. I
Okay.
learned some things. Don't say you didn't learn a goddamn thing, because how the fuck did we make it out of high school if we didn't?
Because they control the narrative. They didn't tell us nothing about who we are. They didn't teach us about real estate,
Well, you know what though?
anything
That
about
should have.
financing.
Well, you know what though? That should have been up to our parents. But like I was saying earlier, most of our
Okay.
dads in our age group were blue pill. They were
Yep.
beaten to submission. So
Yep.
we had to go and get that shit for ourselves.
True that.
And in a lot of cases, our eyes had to be open anyway. But
Yeah.
but you know what? You know what, guy? Go ahead, Gerald. I need
No,
to
no,
collect
no, no,
myself for a
no.
second.
Go. Let it out. Go. Because
Let it out.
this is
Like you're not a therapist, dude. Like
say what?
I say you're not a therapist, man. So
I never said I was a therapist.
okay.
I'm only just asking a question. So who else gonna answer? Oh damn. Somebody else gotta answer that question. What did we really learn? What did we really learn? And this is what people are talking about. Why didn't they teach us about financing? Why didn't they teach us about this social security system that came right in maybe the 30s and how they, taxed us and got that which was totally legal. And everybody's talking like, well, wow, they really did a number on us. But a billionaire said it best. He said that the slaves are waking up and that's frightening me. I'm like, wait, he labeled us slaves. Why the hell did he label us slaves? And then you finding out that, okay, now we're finding out what happened. Back to, I guess you say, the blue pill, which I thought it was the black pill. I thought, so the blue pill is reality. I thought it was the black pill that was the real truth. So it's the blue pill that's the reality pill. Okay.
No. At the beginning of this broadcast, I said red pill is going to be in the context of you get it, and blue pill is you don't get it. That's that's the that's the that's the that was the context I was speaking in. You
Killer
know,
Cam
and
said. That's deep what Killer Cam said. That's deep what Killer Cam just said.
all they
He just
taught us was how to survive, not thrive. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, what choice honestly did they have after going through all of that? Man, everything was as simple as everything was as simple as erasing all the misdeeds with a handshake between
wow.
MLK and Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Yeah, Kev. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
So
I
so
got beat up
so
for that, Kev.
so it's like this. Like I said, we went through a lot, and the mental state, you know, and it is they weren't equipped to deal with such a violent society that was violent toward them because of their skin color, which really was probably the start of blue pill, because blue pill was something I felt like was born out of fear. It was born out of fear and guilt. You know, guilt for, you know, like there was nothing. There were things that we could have did, but there was a lot of things that had already happened before we were old enough and strong enough to do anything. But we can do something now,
Yes.
because a lot of us mentally are still there. All right, but let me get some shout outs in the chat right now. Shout out to Toya. Thank you once again for coming by. Sir Anthony. And I saw Officer Faulkner a second ago, and Rael. Shout out to all of you. Rogish the Bill Monger is in the house. Yeah, and let me see here, see how many likes we got right now. See what we're dealing with here. Just one moment, fellas, and we'll get restarted on the topic. Oh, we got 58 likes and we got 56 watching, which is a pretty good ratio. But if you haven't, go ahead and press that like button. The topic for tonight is: do we live in a blue pill world? Most what Gerald has talked about is sort of red pillish, but also I would say, I don't know, what people would call too hot for television. So with red pill, you have to be careful with red pill, because they do believe in going into this thing called, well, there is freedom of speech, but there's no freedom of speech on platforms such as these. So, like I said, you got to be really, really careful, because, like, really heavy red pill knowledge, that's a slippery slope. And YouTube likes to do things like, you know, they want you, as long as you are able to provide a source and you don't go too far off the rails and go back into your tinfoil hat, YouTube will leave you alone. But like I said, red pill is a very slippery slope when you start talking about certain red pill topics, like, you know, the severity of the indoctrination of the black female.
I
You
want to
know,
ask a question about.
when you get, okay, one moment, coffee, I got you. But I got you. You're next. You're next. I'm gonna be done in just like 30 seconds. Yeah, when you start talking about the true severity, of the indoctrination of the female, they like to take your channel down too, because the severity at the bare bones about it is a lot of them really ain't shit. You know, it's like, and I'm not trying to be funny, or I'm not trying to be some old, what they like to call a black woman basher, but for some of the things that they co-sign with, it's ridiculous. So, coffee, and then Donnie, and then Hybrid Impact 83 just came up. So go ahead, fellas.
I knew that it was some truth to all this pill stuff when I look at the behavior in different men individually. Some men do certain things and they're not aware of it until they're around other guys who have learned, certain things, However, I wanted to ask a question. To be real red pill, does it mean to be very masculine and dominant as a male? Because I know some red pill guys who are very strong and firm, and their demeanor is very low key. What do you think about that?
Well, I will say this: for a man to be a feminine male is, I wouldn't consider that red pill. That the femininity in a black male is uh, looked at as unnatural and not fitting. So to say, like, so to stick in the context of masculinity and not the whole overboard Chad Wheeler type masculinity like everybody tries to highlight, or try to say toxic masculinity, which is nothing but, when you use toxic masculinity in the context that is used in the black community, is like masculinity for some reason is a bad thing. But I would say red pill is masculine. I would say that. So the answer is, if you want to associate red pill with masculinity, I would say that you are on target.
And you do have some females that are red pill as well.
I can't associate red pill with female. I'm not going to make that claim. I will say that there are sisters that, like I said, that are tired of the bullshit. And in the movie The Matrix, male and female alike were taking red pills, but and people may disagree, but it's like, for the most part, you're not going to run into many of those quote unquote red pill sisters. Sometimes you think some of them sisters are red pill, but they're just pandering just to, gain a following, like a couple of women on this platform. Not any current ones. The current ones I think are cool.
Yeah.
Like I would say a Sister George, she's cool. She's my habitual line stepper sister. And if she was on that bullshit, she probably would. Likely she wouldn't be. But I do welcome a difference of opinion. And Sister George is one of the real ones. A lot of people say, "Oh, she ain't. She be if you understood what it takes to run a YouTube channel, you would understand why Sister George says some of the things that she says.
I've heard it plenty of times.
Yeah. So all that little shit that everybody be saying about Sister George, if y'all think I'm putting a cape on, then I would say fuck you, because I'm never gonna proudly wear a simp label. I will say that. That's about as red pill as I can get. So but I'm just saying, when you try to understand some people, when you don't try to close your mind to somebody just because they have a vagina, because I would say that was blue pillish. Closing your mind to a woman just because based on the fact of actual contextual sexism. I mean, I don't mean like the simping aspect of it. I got Cat Williams on the thumbnail, and it said it's simping. That's in the blue pill context. As you know, I think Cat Williams released a song years ago called "It's Pimpin' Pimpin'," so that's why I said that. But like I said,
somebody mic is not muted, and it's all over your voice.
Yeah, well, when I go back and listen to these broadcasts, my voice is very highlighted, so I'm not worried about that. I have to actually kind of turn my mic away from my mouth a little bit so you won't hear so much breathing, because if I leave it on my mouth, it'll be like, and then you can hear every breath I take. So so I'm not worried about that. People I think can hear me loud and clear. Unless I'm Borgin. I do hear myself Borgin sometimes when I go back and listen to this stuff. But anyway, somebody else is Hybrid still up here? Hybrid Impact 83. What's going on?
Hey, you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas?
What's going on?
Good? Okay, so to answer your question, whether or not we're living in a blue pill world, I would say, well, I'll start with the West. I will start with the United States And oh, absolutely. We're living in it's not just blue pill, it's navy blue pill, you know, like it's bad. And
Say old Navy
I've been
pill.
what?
Say old Navy pill shit.
Like it is so bad because what's going on, you know, it's when you're growing up and you're noticing things little by little, it all adds up, you know. A snowflake can turn into a snowball that can turn into an avalanche. And the thing about it is, what I'm seeing, what? Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
did just fine, man. Keep talking, man. We were listening.
Okay, so what's going on is I've lost a lot of friends because of this whole blue pill thing, and they worship women. And they say stuff like happy wife, happy life, ladies first, and you know, don't you ever talk to a woman like that. It's when you're giving constructive criticism to try to help them. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not with this. And I only know to worship God. I don't worship women. And so it's what's going on is society in the West, they're turning men into we're lions. Us men, we're lions. We're majestic. But now a lot of men are lions without fangs and without claws. You know, and some of them don't even have a full mane, and they're getting so feminized that it's becoming so alarming. I know a dude, good friend of mine. He served in the army. He went to Afghanistan, went to Iraq. This dude is more afraid of his girlfriend than, than he is to go do infantry. Like it's sad. Like he would call me and he would say, "Oh, you know, I'm his alibi. Oh, I was with you. You know, don't tell." I'm like, bruh, like what is going on? So it's gotten to the point where me personally, I know certain things can be said, especially when you're outside, but I got to be the crazy in me. I just express myself regardless, you know, and I try to keep it as clean and as respectful as possible. But if you when you're red pill, you're gonna have a lot of people against you when you go out there. You know, I work in construction, and a lot of my employees they're red pill as well, and I red pilled quite a few of them. But that's not the approach to take. And I'm gonna tell you this: I actually, when I got off of work, I went to go get Subway, and I see a girl. It was two girls from way across the street. They're walking towards my direction, and I'm getting ready to go into the Subway. And one of them was on her phone. She didn't see me clearly, and she just bumped into me, and I dropped. My phone fell out my hand, and my screen cracked. And so now I'm livid, but at the same time, I try to maintain a proper decorum. So I looked and I said, weren't you paying attention? Like, look what you did to my phone. Before I can finish my sentence, two beta male simps just jumped out of nowhere and start yelling at me like, why are you talking to a woman like that? What's wrong? So I looked at them and look, I'm a former wrestler. I'm about 5'11", 257 pounds, lots of muscle. Like I'm not a small dude. I could easily have broken them in half, but I'm not a violent person either. But they went off on me, and I looked at them like I know what two scrawny little dudes, and I'm like, yo, I didn't cuss at the lady. I'm not trying to attack the lady. I was just having a conversation with the lady because she ran into me. Yeah, but man, you know, you trying to intimidate her. I'm like, what is? So I just took my cracked phone and I just left. I didn't say nothing anymore because the fact of the matter is this is that.
Hey, quick question. Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. Was it an iPhone?
No, it was a Samsung Galaxy 8.
Close enough.
I,
I was
let me
trying to
tell you
actually
something,
crack on
man.
iPhone, but yeah, it
Let,
backfired.
Yeah, I said close enough because that damn thing costs about $900.
it costs money. It
Oh
costs,
yeah, the
and
S21, yeah. But go ahead, hybrid.
the funny thing is, the girl was actually remorseful. But when those two white knight simp manginas or whatever you want to call, when they just burst into the scene, I said, you know what? I'm a big dude. If any one of these individuals feel threatened, especially the ladies, police can get involved. I don't want that smoke. I said, let me just get my sandwich and go back to work. You know, and I'm just thinking like, is it so bad? Like we can't even hold. We get held accountable for everything we do under the sun, but we cannot even hold women accountable for what they did. Like my thing is this is that I'm an equal opportunity employer. If a dude get out of pocket with some stuff he ain't supposed to do, I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him out. Just like I will call out a lady because, especially if you're in my life, because I'm trying to help you. You know, people have sat me down when I was younger. I said, hey, look, man, you want to do this, you want to take, be careful, you know, and I take their advice. I don't look at it as they're coming at me. But now, if you say anything to a woman that she finds remotely negative, and nobody wants, they brand you the bad guy, you know. So yeah, we are.
I want to ask you a question. Now, you said that you de-simped slash blue pilled. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, blue pilled your employees. How did you come about that? Did you come at them on an educational level, or did you say, "Hey, man, you ain't supposed to do it like that"? How did you?
Well, the thing about it, okay, so I'm 38, and a lot of the guys that I have working on the line where I started, they're like in their early 20s, and so they're going through that testosterone storm where they want to go and smash and party and all that stuff. So what I do, I monitor behaviors because I'm responsible for these guys. So I watch how they interact. I sometimes hear what they say, and sometimes they come to me for advice. And so I've seen guys that they come to work and their work will suffer because, oh, you know, this lady dissed him, or, you know, he feels like a loser because he's not married, and all kinds of stuff that happens to do with,
or because he left that night before and got some pussy and didn't show up for work on time.
I've had that. I've had that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had situations where dude is like so obsessed, like, man, she's not answering my text messages, and he's not paying attention to work. And we work construction, so if you have to be very vigilant because accidents can occur. We've had accidents occur, and so I tell him, I'm like, all that stuff that's going on outside of work, you got to get it out your mind, as difficult as it sounds. But I seen two of my guys, they were really going through it, man. One of them went into deep depression, so that's when I decided to step in. And so I called him into my office and we talked. We had a long talk, and I basically told him about my situation because I was a blue pill dude when I was younger. So we talked, and I told him, I said, look, I'm not gonna give you everything right now, but if you need to talk about anything, come talk to me. So he made it a habit to come talk to me, and I gave him so much advice, and now his state of mind, because he's still very young, now his state of mind has transformed to where he's mostly concentrating on making money, investing, getting this financial situation together. Because I told him, I said, look, you're 22 right now. When you get into your 30s, man, it's gonna be easy, man. It is gonna be easy. Like,
Thank you,
when
man.
it comes to women and attracting women and everything. I said, right now, you don't want to be my age and you ain't got nothing to show for it. I said, focus on your purpose. I said, number one, you have to know your worth. You got to put yourself on a pedestal because
Good job.
if you don't,
Good
if
job.
you don't know your worth, then you go for anything. So,
Good job, brother. Good job.
oh yeah. And then,
Let me say this real quick. I have had, I consider myself red pill, but I have had blue pill moments. But that was, like very, very young.
oh yeah, look, it happens. It happens to the best
You
of
know how
us. Like,
funny that shit sounds? Blue pill moments.
Meaning,
Like,
meaning,
that ought to be
we're
like a
talking like,
television show. I used to do like 5-minute video series called Blue Pill Moments.
His last
Funny
blue
shit.
pill moment was 5 minutes ago. No, I'm just fucking with him.
no, but you know what though? We talking
and I'm gonna
15,
tell you this.
16, you know.
No, I was
Stupid
fucking
shit,
with
you
you,
know.
man. Fucking with you.
So I'm gonna tell you this. The dude that I told about the red pill and I really sat down and talked to, he talked to one of his homies working on the line. The homie talked to the other homie, and it just trickled down. And our production and we meeting deadlines and getting projects done is skyrocketing to the point where everybody is making more money now. So,
Because
but
nobody talked to him. You actually planted that seed. Nobody ever talked to him and planted that seed into their mind to have that option to even think, and you did it. Good job.
I felt bad because I know what depression feels like. Like, I've been so blue pill to where I went to a girl's house and this is a girl that she's half black, half Italian. She was hot, gorgeous. Like I got her by luck because back then I didn't have no game. I didn't know how to conduct myself as a man because my father wasn't around much. You know what I'm saying? And I got her. I don't know how I made it happen. I think it was a mutual friend, and so she took an interest into me. She kind of was interested in how nerdy and weird I was at the time, and so she invited me to her place. And I didn't do things right to where anything could have happened, and I spoiled it basically. And so my boys are telling me like, man, why you approach a situation like this? You ain't did this, you ain't said that, like. And so now I started to feel bad. They're like, man, the chick is hot. She's at 10, man. You could have had. And I fell into a depression just on that alone, and to the point where I would lay down in bed and I'll look at my phone and I'll be like, should I text her? Should I call her?
Hey man, you African or Caribbean?
I'm Nigerian, African.
Okay, I'm Nigerian too.
Yes, sir. We in here, man. We in here. You know.
That's
That's
deep.
You have any scams?
That's deep. That's deep how they put us that we had to have game, though. That's deep. That's
I'm
deep.
fucking with you, man.
Let me say something.
I know they're tired of hearing
I
that.
ended up falling victim to temptation, and I texted her. Her name was, I will never forget her name. Her name is Katie. I texted her. I said, hey, I was thinking about you. You wanna get something to eat? She didn't respond. I waited like an hour. Texted her again. Hey, you get my message? Then texted her again. You there? Then I texted her again. Forget you. I don't even want to talk. And I fell into a deep depression. But yeah, and I
They
was
ain't worth it, dude. They ain't worth
dude,
it. Hey.
At the time, I was 21 at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to. I decided to start working out again. I said, you know what? I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna start bench pressing. And I took everything out on the weights, and I started getting big and more muscular. And a lot of other women started like giving me attention. And so I started getting to a situation where I was attracting a lot of women, and that's actually part of that is what red pilled me because I started to really see how different women operate when it comes to different situations. And then I got on YouTube online. I started to learn stuff, and then I became red pill, and I've never looked back ever since.
But listen, I want to say this before the next person go, because I have had when I said that I had the blue pill moment, I knew better, but the blue pill did kick in. I'm not gonna lie. I had just broke up with my girlfriend who had turned out to be my wife, but for the moment, there was a chick named Vandette. Growing up, she was like, oh, but I'll be your girlfriend, I tell you what, meet me tomorrow night on the back porch and we'll hang out a little bit, I love you, baby. And I said, oh shit, Vandette. Okay. I go out on the back porch the next night. I waited for that all day long. When we was in school, it was like back porch. Okay. I went to the back porch and shit, she was like, hey baby, she was hugging on me and shit. Next thing you know, Vandette set me up to get robbed.
Yeah.
Dude come from behind the damn wall, had a pistol to my head, took my my Gucci pouch. You remember the Gucci pouches you used to wear around your neck back in the day? Took that, took the Gucci watch, took the fucking the Timberland boots, everything, So I get you, man. Women that do all kind of shit.
It's the thing about it too is that I look at things from both red pill and blue pill perspective. A lot of young dudes, and I feel bad for the young boys what they in terms of what they're going through now. It's so hard for them to when you're young, you want to, even if it's a negative experience, you want to have different experiences with the opposite sex so that as you get older you develop and your brain fully forms at 25. When you get a sense of identity, you know what you thrive on and what you will not put up with. And a lot of these dudes now in their teen years, as they get to 20 and whatnot. None of them are really. A lot of them are not having any experiences because of social media, dating apps, the womanist movement, just everything. And so it's more difficult. So a lot of them are playing more video games, doing other things to fulfill their time. But when they get older, it's always that. What is it? What is it like? What am I missing?
That moment made me write a really good song for my album that would have been a big hit, but I would never sing that shit now, even here, because they'd be like, damn, man, he was simping.
Well, one of the things I'll say about this is, and I've paid attention, especially, like I said, we've all had our moments, all of us. Like, so I think that, anybody listening should never feel bad. I mean, I've even had women who I thought, oh my gosh, this girl would never, ever be like any of the fuckery we talk about these girls do. And one of the times I was sitting there, this one chick I've known for like 10 years, and I thought, oh, she would never be like this type of person.
10 years?
And I've known her for 10 years, never fucked her. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to.
That was an extended campaign of blue pill, sir. That's like
no. I never dated her. Never fucked her. Right. Known her for 10 years. Thought about dating her many a times. And when she mentioned that she had went out with a person, the dude they went out, the dude fit a good grip on her, and then she didn't fuck him and went home and called another motherfucking nigga. And it was just like, I was just like, wow. Yeah, I'm like, I've known you for 10 years. And what's so bad? It's like, well, she's a friend of mine now, and she still calls me from time to time. I hate to say, it's like, if she even calls me, I don't even answer now. It's like, and I mean, they should even do it to me. But it's
the
like,
coldest ones whoever taught me a little bit of game is when women taught me the art of double booking. These motherfuckers will book you for a date. They will have another motherfucker back up in case she don't feel like going with you, or in case you flake. And then in case the date goes bad, they got a third nigga in the weights to come and smash in case the date don't go how she wanted to get the pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nigga.
Like, I was just like, when I heard that shit, I was just like, and like, if she'll text me sometime from kind of time, I may not answer that text to the next day. I mean, like, literally, what's so bad is that it's like, I've known about it. Like, when I see bullshit, it's like, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to be your friend.
And the thing about it too is that I tell a lot of people, like, when you're going on dates and stuff, yes, we're subject to get played if you're messing with, especially with the wrong one. But my policy, I don't even really date anymore. I'm too busy trying to get my situation, form generational wealth, just because I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and so I tell people, like, when you go on dates, pay as little as possible. Go on, like, go take a go somewhere where you can just spend like a few dollars. And if she's egging you on, oh, let me get this. Nah, you pay $5 for a cone. Pay her if you want to pay her $5, that's fine. That's $10. Because the more this is from my point of view, the more a woman wants to be wined and dined and taken to all this fancy place and whatnot, the less she really wants you. Because the decisive factor as to whether you're going to hit or not is not shellfish or lobster. Like, she's not going to magically, like, want to do anything with you. She already knows from Jump Street if she's going to get it on with you or not. So you're not going to get a receipt. You're not going to get a refund or whatever, So me personally, the last time I went on a date, I spent $4. and Shorty was pissed off about it, but I didn't care.
Well, I'll say this, like, like right before I got online, I got a phone. This chick, she been trying to date me. She wanted me to go out with. I'm like, I hate saying it. I've even come to the point where now it's like, I don't even want to be here. And like, she's like, well, maybe we can go out this Thursday and all like that. I told her, I mean, you don't need to be wasting your time with me because I don't want no relationship. Well, maybe I can take you out. I'm like, we go out Thursday, I'm paying for my own shit. I'm definitely letting you know I'm paying. I'm not. I don't want to go nowhere. I'm just. It's just that bad. I don't want to. It's like, because I hate to say it, I ain't even gonna lie. You look and say, like, all y'all motherfuckers the same. You know, my standards are too damn high, and I hate to say I'm too old to deal with the shit now. And I look at it, and I hate to say I look at it like this: is you a couple years older than me, so if ain't nobody swooped your ass up by then what's that mean? You probably a problem. I don't even want to waste my time dealing with you.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because and nobody wants to really, if you want to get into a relationship and stuff, you don't want to get into a relationship with a woman that's jaded, that is angry, that has miles or what have you. You know what I mean? Like me personally, like when I look at younger women, early 20s or whatnot, they are less jaded than women in their 30s. You know, because the thing is, this is that us as men, we can be partying, we can party, we can get our drink on, we can be partying day in and day out and just having fun. But when we get up to our 30s and stuff, we're still composed, we're still together. But you can tell when you look at some women in their mid 30s, late 30s, you can tell they've had a hard life of partying, alcohol, weed, what have you. You know, you can literally see that how tired they are. You know, so my whole thing is that I tend to stay away from women in that age group because there's a lot of restrictions, there's a lot of expectations, there's a lot of my fertility window, we got to do this fast. I'm not with that. Like I like younger women that are more fun, more radiant, more like more spontaneous, things of that nature. So
Right.
All right, guys. Yeah, just wanted to remind everybody that and thanks for your participation. This is the weekly Any Given Sunday, although I go on every Friday and Saturday night too. Um, so thank you for tuning in, and if you haven't, hit that like button, and let's continue with the conversation. Rael, thanks for coming up, and whoever has their computer on in the background, please mute it or mute yourself. Ibrahim J, something's wrong with your connection, so I would love to let you up, but I don't know, drop down, drop back up, see if that helps. But go ahead, Rael.
Peace, Kev. Peace to the panel and chat. um, where do I begin? Let me say this. Because this kind of ties into some of the earlier stuff that was talked about when Gerald was up here. When I was in college, I had a falling out with the pro-black crowd because when I looked behind the veil, I saw that it was the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. And I saw that it was bullshit. And I wasn't supposed to see that. The so-called elders, they knew I saw it. So they tried to quiet me down when, I rattled the cage. The thing that was so surprising to me was because what happened was I had called out a particular female professor, actually. And what was so surprising to me was it wasn't the women that came to her defense. It was the dudes. And she was just a big booty hoe with a dashiki. That's all she was. With a PhD. Okay. She wasn't special. But the way these dudes came to her defense was like, wait, what? And I'm tying it into the earlier conversation because, and this is something that Tupac said years ago when he defended that dude who he unloaded on those cops for years ago. And he was saying how after the situation happened, he came to the dude's defense. He said, but when he looked around after it was over with, man, the dude was gone. You know what I'm saying? He was gone. And one thing I've learned is that it sounds good to tell dudes the truth. It sounds good. And this is just people in general. But as I've gotten older, I used to hear this when I was younger. Ignorance is bliss. Man, I haven't learned how powerful that statement is until I got older. I used to do a lot of reading and, reading conspiracy theories and all this other type of stuff. And what I realized is that it turns you into a data junkie. You become a junkie. It's like you're on crack. You know what I'm saying? And it prevents you from actually living your life. You know what I'm saying? Because we can look at history, man, and at the end of the day, ain't been too many successful revolutions in history. It just don't go down like that. History has seen a lot of people try, but it ain't really been successful. And one of the main reasons why revolutions are not successful is because the people with the money usually can buy off people on the other side. So it's more blue pill, and I think that in the Matrix, because even Neo said in the Matrix, he told him, he said, look, man, we weren't supposed to destroy the Matrix. That the prophecy was wrong. Because they had been thinking their whole existence up until Neo was, man, we got to destroy this shit. And he was like, nah. And basically what he was showing them was, just because the Matrix exists doesn't mean you ain't supposed to go through it. You still got to go through it. I tell dudes all the time that be listening to these channels, like, at the end of the day, that's why I try to give a lot of dudes information so they can, better understand the environment. But at the end of the day, when these shows go off, man, you have to go out there and live your life where you at right now. This information is just a little bit of advice to help guide you on your path, that can help you go left when you're supposed to go left instead of go right when you think you're supposed to go right. But ultimately, it comes down to each individual to make their own decisions because they have their own individual life and path to go down. I think a lot of times people, love these spaces because it makes them feel like they're on a journey with a lot of other people. To a certain degree, you are, but internally, we're all fighting our own battles and our own paths we have to go down. So I think that when it comes down to it, a lot of times, because I've seen people who have known things, who know what the truths are, and they look behind the veil too, and even those people still decided to stay blue pill. So I would say it's more blue pill, even though there are a lot of people who know what's going on. But at the end of the day, a lot of times they still would choose the blue pill because for most people, it's much more comfortable than seeing, looking behind that curtain and seeing it's a cowardly wizard behind that curtain. Because once you see that the wizard behind the curtain is a coward, now you got some work to do. And a lot of people don't want to do that work.
Well, I'll say what scares me about the whole bullshit, and I'm not gonna lie. If I had to say, I would say that you are more likely to lose your life as a person who realizes what's going on to a person that's so blue pill and they're so caught up in the shit. And by the time they realize they done jumped up, fought against their own best interest, put themselves in jail, gave themselves a lifelong, a lifelong, they put themselves behind the 8 ball for the rest of their life over some shit. That when they really realize how the world really works, they're gonna say, "Wow," to protect that blue pill. It's like you said, what did he say in the Matrix? He's like, some people are like so fascinated or so plugged in that they will fight and die to protect it. You know,
Yeah, they were fighting out to protect it. Like in the movie The Matrix, the character Cypher.
Cypher.
Cypher got tired of that shit. Like, so he wanted to go back in, but he had to do some things first. So he had to kill, he had to, kill a few red pillars, before he got back in. But unfortunately for him, he met a very fitting end to his treachery. Uh, like it's let me combine two elements of what I just talked about. Cypher is a blue pillar that did that shit for the agents. What I want us to be weary of is that blue pillars sometimes can be agents.
Yeah, they all are agents. No, you need to look at them like that. No, not sometimes. All the time.
Yeah, because we had some blue pillars to visit this space.
Yeah.
They made their rounds on panels, and you don't see them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Plus it's like I don't know if y'all too, like most of y'all, if not all of you, have tuned in to Roger's show. There have been quite a few blue pillars to show up on his stuff, and now you're not seeing these guys anymore. Where are these guys from? Where are they from?
Well, I mean, what's so bad? It's a lot of them always sitting there lurking in the background, and I mean, like it's just horrible. It's gotten to the point where now it's like you realize you can just put the information out there. Like I mean, think about it, Kev. Remember in the beginning, we used to visit other panels, even the people that had a totally 180 thing against us, and maybe try to talk. I hate to say something. If you notice now, most of us now, we don't even venture outside. We know that there's people that's a complete 180. We don't even go over there. We just avoid them.
Well, I think sometime, man, you got some people that are here for a reason, and to be able to distinguish the blue from the red is a gift. I think it's a gift because you got some people just don't have no fucking idea exactly what it is and don't even have an idea that they're doing it. But but hear me out. But for those who stay and chose to stay and learn, see what Kevin was saying was that you get them to show up and they never come back around. Like one in particular, they consider him as blue pill, Massage Noir. He has made his rounds around. Trust me. And I think that was just a trolling situation that he was doing, because I think that he know what he's doing. He's a smart guy, but he just enjoyed going against the grain,
Well, shit.
They love the.
He had did enough. He had did enough to get invited on one of the bigger platforms on this place. So he definitely
made his motherfucking round. He made those rounds, man, even on Kevin's show.
But I think a lot of times they love the fighting. I mean, unfortunately, in the beginning, I used to say, okay, we'll try to talk to the people and maybe try to convince them. But then you start to realize, well, wait a minute, that's just a waste of too much time and energy. If they come over and want to understand our point, fine. But I'm damn sure not even going over there and trying to get them to even consider listening.
But I tell other brothers, I say, if you're going to get up on this panel, you better be able to take constructive criticism, and you better come up here correct because they're going to eat your ass alive. And I tell them.
Right.
I mean,
not in a disrespectful way, but
I do understand that, but we also have to respect the difference of opinion, as long as it isn't too far fetched and too far out there. Now, Ibrahim J is up here. You can go ahead and speak your piece. How you doing?
Hello, brothers. Hello, Kev. How are you doing?
Okay.
The fuck?
Already, like, go ahead, man. Cause go ahead, bro.
Okay, so I've been studying for a long time now, but it seems that the blue pill is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that, and I think that the problem is that society used to work in a certain way. We needed people to be in this fantasy so that we can work hard and build society, family, love, and connection. The problem has come because things have changed. In the old days, a man needed a woman needed a man. The average man could work and sustain a whole family. This meant that every man was a high value man. Today, because things have changed, because of modernity, we no longer have this system. It means that the woman now is seeking the top of the food chain, and she has bitten the apple of the Garden of Eden, and she can no longer go back. This is the problem. And although we are a red pill, the pill is even bitter to swallow because the system will not go back. We are now living in a system where the government can pay support to them. They do not need us en masse. The average brother won't be able to compete like he used to. This means that, unfortunately, there is even a bitter pill beyond the black pill, the black hole pill. This means that the system has been broken and we have gone back to prior to even the blue pilled fantasy. You see, the blue pill was created so that most men can get enough and most women can be safe. Now we've gone back where the so called dusties, the tyrants, are the ones getting it. It's now a world of nature and it's no longer a world of civilization. The thing now is that the men have become weak. It is time for the men to become strong again so that we can reestablish society or things will be lost. I'm not sure if the brothers in the panel know about Maslow. Maslow created a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy of the needs that a human needs before they become actualized. At the bottom is the physiological needs. This is your food, your shelter, and your good air and water. The next is your resources. That's where the blue pilled men used to come in. But because the woman now has the same, he is no longer needed. She's now seeking the next level, which is love, intimacy. This is why when relationships do not longer stay because she's seeking a feeling, because the other things are fulfilled by the government or by herself, that feeling is fleeting. She's not even reached the next level, which is where you become actualized. You learn what true and real love is, which is loyalty across time. Imagine the brothers in arms. They become close. They become able to work together. They overcome challenges. And that is love. And the problem is, until we can fix that point to make her reach this level, because we're never going back, the resources will never be sustained by only us. It's the government now. The next step is how do we get her to become actualized and be able to form the bond which many men do, which is loyalty.
the problem that I have with the whole she's seeking the next level thing is the fact that I don't feel like she had to mess up in the first place. Like if she was seeking the next level from the beginning and she is, this is a nature thing, why go to the lowest piece of scrap to procreate with? Like, let's just be honest about that. We can say all of these narratives, and that was very well delivered, by the way. Sounded like a recording. It was done so well. But it's like, okay, if you're going to push this narrative that somehow they're looking to survive and they're looking for the highest thing, then why is it that they choose so low?
The problem is because the biology takes over. They're not thinking straight with their minds. I'm not making an excuse, but unfortunately, the nature designed it this way. The lower level guys, like the dusties as they call them, have this nature inside them. You see, before men like you, men like me, men who are educated in understanding how the world works, became the rulers, it used to be those dusties. They're the ones who used to run around because they're good at killing the nature, but they're not good at civilization. So what's happened is we've killed the system because we've become too civilized. We've become so civilized that we've killed our own selves. Now the dusties are ruling again like they used to. Prior to this, you see, before we became successful, the dusties used to have 5 women. They used to have many of them. And then we decided that it's not safe for the children. It's not good to bring them up. We created systems. Every man, every woman gets someone. But now it's broken. And they've gone and reverted back to the way things used to be before civilization. And it's not a blame. We do not blame them. We don't blame men. This is just nature and how, unfortunately, brothers are suffering and children are suffering. But it is possible that they can reach actualization. You see, once you escape the red pill, it's now the truth pill, which is the next step. If we can get brothers there, then it's possible that sisters could one day also get there to be able to think of the child and of the relationship with the man like a brother in arm. That true loyalty.
Kevin, this channel is changing the faces of what we know as the ghetto neighborhoods.
All right, can
Thank
I
you
ask
for
you a
that, brother.
question?
That was good.
I know it's kind of off the topic.
Hold on.
Can you just say the evil of the thriller?
Ibrahim,
I just asked you. Can you just say the evil of the thriller?
did the man just say the evil of the swerve? Evil
No,
of the what?
the
What do you say?
evil of
Sorry.
the thriller.
There are many evil that plague us.
No, but you remember, you sound just like the guy in from Michael Jackson's video.
He's talking about Vincent Price. That's what he's talking about.
Right, he sounds just like him.
No, I think you have I think you have a very distinct voice, and
Yeah,
like
he has
I'm
it right.
gonna go ahead and say it.
Could he do that? Because he's so close, he could do that.
He probably could,
expression.
but
Yeah.
let me go ahead and say this to the brother before he drops off. Kind of like ninja style. You're welcome here anytime. I don't know. I felt like a breakthrough just happened or something, but yeah, I have so much I have so much to ask, but when I think of it, I'll just
Let
kind of
me
pop back
interject.
right now.
Can I say something? Let me say this. I think that we have to. The historical context is key. There was a time where people had to have a lot of kids to survive, to do hard work, because we were more agrarian-based economies, and so that's not the case anymore. But I was reading this book years ago, and this woman said that nature has a way of bringing together two bloodlines for the specific purpose of wiping both of them out.
Mhm.
Now, for a lot of people, that's a lot to take in. Like, what? A lot of times when we see, stupid people, out here, doing stupid things and dying, and on the outside, people are looking at it like, oh, it's tragic. But there used to be a time where people took their bloodlines very seriously. They guarded their bloodlines like gang members guard their territory. They didn't just let anybody in. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that's not the case. It's more of, oh well, if you're black, we all the same. Now, my great grandfather, rest in peace to him, had a 6th grade education. He had his own contract with the Navy. He had his own grocery store. He had his own businesses. So, and he said that to my dad's mom, that he had a fear that the enemy was going to infiltrate our family. He wasn't talking about white people, and he was in Jim Crow South, Alabama. He was talking about no good niggas. And so one of the things that, this is why I say, pro-black is so dangerous, because it's an immediate trauma bond interaction. We're supposed to stick together specifically just because we went through slavery. Not understanding that even within the slave context, there were people in slavery who had different experiences, who got different treatment in the same construct. Just like now, you have people out here who have a slave mentality, but because they have a different experience in it, they get their, as y'all would call it, butter biscuits. They don't look at it as slavery. This is what we saw. This was the dichotomy between Django and Stephen in the movie Django. Stephen was cool with slavery. You didn't see that fool argue one time against it. He was arguing against somebody who looked like him phenotypically being free. That was what his problem was. And that's what we have out here a lot of times. We have a lot of people out here who they're cool with the system. We just saw this election. We just saw a whole bunch of black people vote for basically a plantation owner. Because they're cool with it. The problem that a lot of us end up having is we be sitting here like, hey man, wake up, wake up, wake up. But guess what used to happen on those plantations too? There used to be some niggas who got the fuck up out of there. They didn't waste no time. They didn't care. They were like, them niggas can stay there if they want to. We gone. We out. And they didn't look back. They left wives behind. They left kids behind. Just like in the Bible, when Lot left Gomorrah, like he got up out of there. His wife wanted to stay. She looked back. Hey, she turned to a pillar of salt. But he got up out of there. He's like, I'm out. God told him to keep going. He kept going. And so we have to keep that in mind too, because a lot of times, in my experiences, when you try to give people that information that can free them, we have to understand what that freedom really is. That freedom is the freedom to go out here and go in the woods by yourself and figure it out. For a lot of people, man, that is the scariest shit you could ever get them to do. They like, man, I ain't going out there. It's no different than trying to get that slave to leave that plantation and go in them woods and trying to figure out where freedom is. Because freedom really didn't have a destination for a lot of them. They were just trying to get the hell off the plantation for the few who did. But it seems like it's such a great thing. But when you haven't really been fully prepared for the world and how things work, man, freedom can be the scariest thing in your life. And we just have to keep that in mind.
Super on point, Rael. Like this conversation has really turned into something. I will tell you that right now. But if you like this conversation as much as I do, please go ahead and hit that like button. Please. Let me see what we got as far as likes. We got 76 people watching and we got 72 likes. So that's a damn good ratio. But if you haven't, please hit that like button, please. And the conversation for tonight is: do we live in a blue pill world? We got Judge Dre, Rael, Coffee, and Ibrahim J. Any questions out of the chat for any of these guys? But to answer the question of the title of the stream, yes, we do feel that way, and that is for many reasons. I did see someone say blue pill is birthed out of fear, but also I said that earlier in the broadcast, but I coupled it with guilt. The guilt of feeling inadequate, the guilt of letting things slip out of our control, and also being very upset for the way things were set up for our current condition. It causes you heard of red pill rage. I've seen a lot of blue pill rage as well. Like I've run into it quite often on other platforms. I haven't quite run into it yet here, but I've run into it on other platforms where I'll like because I'm speaking for the audience sake in the context of Facebook right now. When I created the Facebook group at the end of April in 2017, black men being brutally honest with everyone, which I wasn't aware at the time, but it started me on a path to being on this platform right now talking to all of you. And by the way, War Child, thank you for the super chat. Said peace, Kev, salute, diamond hands. All right. Thank you for your support. And of course, you're a friend of the channel as well. I appreciate that. But getting back to what I was saying, creating a space even to give black men a level playing field in the conversation, not so much to ostracize females, because as much of the disapproval we have for the behavior of the modern day 2021 black woman, we love them. We do. We do love them. We only say it because we care. Because a motherfucker that don't give a fuck about you doesn't say anything. Like I said about that person, a person that really doesn't just sit by knowing that something's wrong and they don't say anything, they're an accessory. Point blank, period, end of discussion. You are an accessory to the fuckery, to the madness. And yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. That kind of motherfucking shit. But when you do that, when you give black men an even playing field, some of the weirdos can get through. And the reason why I used to let the weirdos get through is because you had a lot of the bitter baby mamas, a lot of the bitter sisterhood in there, making posts saying all kinds of crazy COON ass shit all over the group. So had a couple people, a couple of miscreants, a couple of guys who've had really bad experience in their life, and they didn't sugarcoat it. They use brutally honest as their way of saying, hey, you know what, bitches ain't shit. They're no good. Dude in the group used to every day make posts blatantly. Bitches ain't shit. Fuck them bitches. I hate them. I hate them. I wish all of them, all the misfortune in the world. Like Silky Johnson standing at the podium. I hate you. And I hate your guts. And I hate you and everything that's to do with you and all that. Like, excuse me. They will post like that every day. But because I let the shit slide, black people do something called a knee-jerk reaction. because we're so indoctrinated to not pay attention to what the female says, and we're so indoctrinated to pay attention and really to say how awful the male is when they say it. It became, I made a group specifically to bash and hate black women. And with that comes a lot of blue pill rage from simps. Threats, inboxes, and doxing. I've been through all of that shit. That's why I don't give a fuck about what I say. Bitch boys ain't gonna come to me with that bullshit. I ain't gonna even lie, I can show you some screenshots. Like, what the fuck I care about a nigga in Indiana for? Like, honestly, a nigga in Indiana, man, I'll fuck you up, man. Fuck you, you bashing these black women, man. How you like it, man? Fuck your grandmother, man. Well, I'm like, well, both of them are dead, so they don't care. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, Jesus, doxing a guy in this space a year ago. Yeah, it's like, I hear it to the day. Man, you be busting suds and busting tables at Applebee's, man. You too old for that shit, man. You too old for that shit, man. Because black people don't like the truth. Let me just go ahead and say it. If they don't like it, they'll believe any fucking thing. But you know what? That kind of thing doesn't really bother me because I'm numb to it because I see it so many times. I don't care if you inbox me saying I'm going to fucking kill you. Shit, a couple weeks ago, somebody told me they'll shoot me in my face because I made a platform to bash black. Like literally, shoot me in my face. Like, is it that serious, bro? Is it that serious? Do I need to be taken off the face of the earth for words? So y'all say red pill rage. I say blue pill rage. Both of them do exist. But that blue pill rage is kind of stupid. Is that internet? Is that fake? That fake bitch boy internet rage? Like what I see with guys like hating on the black manosphere, but at the same time, you know, the only reason why you're getting any kind of attention because you hate on the black manosphere. Come up with a topic out of nowhere that will get some views and have some substance to them, and see how you do then. You know, see whether you got it or not. You know, tell a news story a certain way and see if people like it. You know, shit like that. You know, but all that like that internet tough boy shit. No, I don't like that shit. No, I don't, and I don't care about it either. I don't care about it either. Pull up. You want to pull up? Pull up. Shit. I mean, yeah. It's like just that blue pill. Like in other words, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, to me, it's all fun and games. That group was all fun and games. This YouTube thing is fun and games with a lot of deep conversation that goes along with that, which, you know, but I understand that with this black manosphere and its evolution and its growth and everything, it's being put into this little box by the blue pillars. You know who, you know what makes them kind of blue pill? The fact that they discourage black male unity. They do shit like call it a circle jerk. It's like, why would okay, we talk about brothers killing each other all the goddamn time. We talk about brothers not being successful. We talk about brothers being have no drive. Just like Ibrahim said, and I mean, there was a lot of truth to everything he said. It's like these men have become weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do understand that. But I mean, but I don't know, shit. But like I said, like I said, a lot of these blue pillars, they have this little mentality, like they want to sit atop the mountain. It's like it's like a 5'7" man inside his head is King Kong. Ain't got shit on me without the bullet in the ass. This is what I think a blue pillar thinks. Like seriously, they don't want to preach unity because that means that the spotlight is off of them. They have this I don't know, fake alpha nigga shit that they do. It's like instead of it being about the collective, it's about how I can beat my chest in front of everybody. So what I have to do is I see a person who is of a powerful mind, and I have to do everything in my power to tear that person down. even if the message is loud and clear and one that does not result in the physical harm and the degradation and the damnation of said person. So, Ibrahim, why is it that, people who are considered educated, and not just people who say they're alpha, actual alphas, why are these guys always the ones that are attacked by this blue pill rage nonsense? Why do people like me get told over the internet that I'm going to get shot in my face? Why?
Right. Okay. Kev, people like you are exactly the same kind of people that they hate. Through years of evolution, the blue pillars have grown to resent you. When they see an alpha, a man who is true to himself, his principles, and reality, they cannot stomach it. In Plato's Republic, there was a cave analogy. There were many men staring at a wall. The wall was filled with images or shadows from outside, from the sun. One man, Kev, escaped from this vision. He saw the actual real sun outside. He came back and he was thinking, wow, I can truly see the truth. I want to share it with my brothers who are still stuck in prison, thinking a shadow is reality. When he came back, they told him, we don't want to see this thing you call the sun. They handcuffed him and killed him. This is exactly the same thing happening now. Reality will destroy them. Have you heard of the concept? Some men would rather feel secure than be secure. You get that? They would rather feel safe than actually be safe. Right now, they are indulged with these fantasies. The women will tell you we are the most oppressed people on this planet. Yet, black men are being shot, dead. Black men are being denied jobs and opportunities every single day. But they have deluded themselves that they are the most oppressed people on this group. Of course, they are oppressed. But if you look at reality, black men have survived and continue to thrive despite the excessive oppression. Blue pillars truly believe if they protect the fantasy of the woman that they will get her. They don't understand how the world works. And it's because of the weak blue pilled men that we are here. You know that picture that says, strong men create good times. Good times, which is where we are, creates weak men, blue pillars. And then that's when society is destroyed. And Kev, strong men now, those of us who are red pill, will have to rebuild society from its ashes. Now, one person from the comment section asked, is it too late? It is too late to go backwards using the same methods. We now have to transcend the methods. We know we can no longer satisfy women by giving them what we used to give them: safety, security, food, water, shelter, guidance. So they could not reach the highest level of loyalty. Loyalty is much more easy for men, especially strong men like those in the war. The next step, we know that women value children. The only weapon we may have, unfortunately, but this is arguable, is that we do not give them children. If we don't give them children, they will now come back and be able to work with us under a new understanding. But the blue pill men, they are followers. Right now, they will fight us. But when we are working and winning, they will be the first to join. They do not have their own will or courage to fight.
Okay. Yeah, that wow, a very thorough answer. Wow, I appreciate that.
It's just like asking a question to get your horoscope, and this man, he really got it. He got it.
But you know what though? It's like when you ask people certain questions and they dance around it and then they try to troll you instead of just answering the question. None of that from this guy. None of that. So yeah. So
You
yeah.
see, I've been quiet. That's how you know he's a very good person. I mean, you need to come out here a lot more, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of these youngsters can learn a lot from you.
Yeah, seriously. Have you been on other manosphere platforms or any other platforms, Ibrahim?
This is my first time on a manosphere. I, however, have been on a Pan-African and Black platform. I believe if we come together, we can work together and we can be free. But Brother Rael was correct. Sometimes what happens is, it's true, not all skinfolk is kinfolk. Sometimes they actually purposely put those of them who are against us in power. I have worked with them before. What they do is they create rumors about you. They start to dox you. They start to say that you are this kind of person. You are violent, especially as a black man. I say to every young black man listening, stay above board. Stay above reproach, because they will come. And they use these weak, blue-pilled men, like the man from the movie Django. These men are given small pieces of crumbs, and they take the crumbs and they think it is a sausage. They eat it. They lap it up like a dog. And then they betray you. They bite you. Be careful. They are agents. And I don't just mean because they may be used directly. In the Matrix, the agents were simply those pariahs of the blue-pilled Matrix. Every blue pillar is an agent, Smith.
Every one of them. Wow. Oh, so yeah, you really like that analogy. You really went back to that analogy I used earlier. Okay, so yeah, we gotta watch the blue pillars. I mean, if they show any signs of blue pill, like it's almost as if the guys show up to just specifically to destroy the conversation based on the elements which Ibrahim just got through talking about. You know, a need to protect the bullshit, so to speak. Rael, do you have anything to say as far as, you know, responding to what he just said, or, you know, any thoughts? Because two deep brothers on the panel. That's an opportunity. You know, very interesting dialogue. Where's Judge Dre? Where did he go? But you know,
Well,
if you want to come back, he can
still
come back
here
up.
too.
Yeah, I know Coffee. Yeah, I was getting around there, man.
Trust me, I'm listening to him, man. He remind me of my uncle. My uncle is Nigerian, and just hearing his voice, he sounds like that.
Yeah. So yeah, but I can kind of say I don't think I could say it better than he could say it, but I can damn sure give it a try. Oh, Rod, there you are. But
Yeah. I don't.
He make you think before you speak.
No, I don't. I was doing some reading years ago, and I was reading up on some ancient Egyptian culture, and one of the things that was a staple of the culture was the fact that if you was a person that didn't research, you weren't respected. Research was very, very valued. From this culture, you have the phrase "know thyself." We have this space, and it's a great space. But I must say that we have people who do masquerade as really being for the red pill. And to me, when I think of the red pill, I think of its stages. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to go to that rage stage. You're supposed to have your Hamlet moment. As in the Shakespearean classic. The problem with Hamlet was that he raged throughout the damn entire story. And it ultimately cost him. And it prevented him from having the quality relationship with his female counterpart in the story because he was so much of it in a rage and distracted by his mother. To me, it's supposed to be stages. Like I said, the rage is a part of it. Even in my research on a lot of things dealing with psychology, I've been doing some reading on anger management, for example. And I was reading up on this thing called the myth of the angry black man. And this is from a psychology perspective. This is not from people's opinions, no talk shows or anything like that. This is from the psychological arena, and it talks about how it's just that, a myth. The clinical psychologists talked about how, as far as in American terms, black men are more likely to repress their anger more so than anybody else.
Definitely.
So this idea that black men are just walking around, because I've heard this since my college days, going up 20 years ago, and I've heard people use that term before, the angry black man, and it's usually something that's used to shame black men into expressing how they feel, because usually the people who are trying to shame black men into not expressing how they feel have done something wrong to black men and expect them to just put up with it. But I feel that there are a lot of people who they're more interested in the fight instead of the men turning the corner and getting past the rage. I read this book on Buddhism years ago, and it talked about how when you're angry, you're at your weakest point. You're at your most distracted point. It's okay to feel angry. There is a such thing as constructive anger. But when you're constantly raging and raging and raging, first of all, it's tiring. Number one. Number two, it's not actually good for your body physiologically. It feels good in the body. That's the problem with it, is that anger feels good, but it's not good to just be an angry person. So that's why I would never push, especially younger black men, but black men overall, to stay in this rage, because I know it can be damaging, especially from a health perspective. The key is putting it in context. What's the guy? He was a Navy SEAL. I got his book. David Goggins. He has a book called Can't Hurt Me. And he talks about how he basically used his anger from his experiences constructively to become the most successful Navy SEAL in the history of the Navy SEALs, black man. So for me, it's about getting men to the point where their productivity is at the center of what they do, their purpose. If we constantly have young men constantly in a state of rage, because I know what it was like to be at that point. I know what it's like to be in the midst of pro-black people, people who you thought were elders, who keep you angry at the man. And then when something happens at the school that concerns a younger black person, instead of getting justice for the black person, they use the incident to get more money for themselves so they can have more money in the department that they get access to, but no justice for the younger black person. So, and I saw how a lot of times the older generation will use that anger from the youth that many times they have fucked over themselves before any white person has. They will use that anger to blind the younger generation, to allow the younger generation to feast on them because they have nothing else going for themselves in their lives. So we have to be very careful with people who are just, I'm all about a conversation, but men have purpose too. If they choose to have a purpose, and if men are about having a purpose, then like Amos Wilson said, peace be upon him. He said that he had the hardest time working with so-called conscious black people. He said because conscious black people, to him, were lazy. They were the laziest people. He said because they thought they knew every damn thing. He said if he tried to get them to do some work, they wouldn't want to do any work because they were so book smart, but they weren't practical. He said that he could get more work out of the ignorant black people than he could get out of conscious people because they walked around with this air of superiority and never wanted to do no damn work. And at the end of the day, work has to get done. And so for me, I'm just very wary of people like that. I'm seeing this more and more. I was seeing it last year and I was speaking on it, but I'm speaking more on it now because the last thing that I plan to do or set out to do is come into spaces like this and do damage to black men who have already been damaged a lot. I take that very seriously. And I remember some of the things that Malcolm talked about, how he felt that he did damage because he felt that he was preaching a lot of anger and hate. And he said that he was going to use the rest of his life to undo the damage that he felt he had done. And I think that a lot of men who do need to get some help themselves are using the space for therapy to rail against, women they think that has done wrong to them. But at the same time, they're keeping men who are looking for answers in a state of emotional limbo to where they can't get the answers they need because they're taking up so much airspace, constantly rehashing old arguments that have already been defeated. And I think that it has the capacity to really, really damage the space and keep the space from growing into what it really, really can grow into. So I think, we have to be much more careful, much more cerebral. Yeah, we have these experiences. We've had these bad experiences. Trust me, I've had mine. You know what I'm saying? Mom included. But at the end of the day, when it came to me, when it came to my mom, I put my mom's ashes in my dad's grave because I knew ultimately that's where she wanted to be. So she wasn't a perfect person. But for me, I wasn't gonna let my mother or even some of my father's issues that he had. I wasn't gonna let them make me them. I was still gonna be the stand-up man that I know I am. And I think that we have to really be careful in how we project this rage, and be very careful of the audience that's listening, because like I said, on Roger's channel the other day, we've lost a soldier in this space. And we have had some great conversations. We have talked about some real topics. And at the end of the day, our brother still lost his life. And so we have to keep that in mind. This space is very, very serious, and men are looking for answers. And anger is not the answer. It's just a starting point to have a conversation where we can really hash these issues out and ultimately solve what we're trying to solve in terms of our own inner journey through this life. And for those that are here that can help other men get to their journey or be helped, we should do that.
Okay. Thanks, Rael. Yeah. Uh, we have to be careful with this space, and rest in peace to that brother.
Who passed away, may I ask? I don't know who the person was.
It was mentioned publicly, and so it was Force Windu. It was Force Windu. So
Judge, check the back chat.
Yeah, that's why I said put it in the back chat.
Okay, all right, but Roger, what's up? Long live the habitual line steppers. You there?
I don't know.
He probably on the phone or something. He'll join us. He'll join us as soon as he gets a chance. But yeah, I think about that kind of thing too, and you definitely don't want you definitely don't want to, I don't know, say some things that might set someone off or put them on a path to you know put them on a path to something that could lead them to be worse off than they were before. Not saying that was that particular person's case or whatever, because I'm not privy to all the facts in the situation. I do know what happened as a result of whatever was going on, but it's I would say this: bringing people together on some bad shit that could result in some stuff that didn't need to happen in the first place. While I created a space where black men could speak freely and had a level playing field, I don't blame myself for this. I always leave these kinds of things to human choice at the end of the day. But there was a couple of weirdos that got even weirder because I gave so much slack and so much freedom for people to talk. I mean, these guys were telling a lot of truths, but they were just so embittered to the point where it just, it was that, when they get on posts, they start agreeing with each other and, on each other's hurt nigga shit. And, that would be the trauma bonding I think Rael was referring to. Everybody getting on the same accord because they've been hurt tremendously. Now, it's okay to have conversations about such, but for the toxic, the horrible attitude to perpetuate, you just is a breeding ground for a lot of bad things to happen. Like, I would say the doxing, because one of the weirdos was a serious doxer. I mean, it got so serious to the point where he would inbox pictures of guns and threats to women. just because he was trolled on social media. And I never condone things like that, but understand that I would get the blame for it anyway. Because when you pose somewhat of a threat, and this is one thing that I did discover, and you know what, it just makes things seem shittier, when you think about it this way. But as weird as those guys were to those females, and as threatened as they say they were by those guys, when those same like and one thing I didn't get about the females is, like, we used to have the same enemies a lot of the times. When those guys started attacking me, they went from weirded out by those guys, and I wish these guys would go to jail, or the cop need to put a bullet in you. They started actually, and I wasn't even, and people tell me all the time, you're not nearly as crazy as these people. They would actually start siding with that guy. The same guy who inboxed them gun pictures, threats, I kill you, bitch, I kill you, kids, like all of that stuff. Because they disagree with me on a fact. On a fact, simple facts. They would rather join up with a weirdo than to agree with some plain common sense.
Well,
Now, if that ain't some fuck shit, I don't know what is. And fuck shit is two words that is kind of, once you think about it, it makes sense to put together. But it's kind of like, still, that's kind of ghetto to say. Anyway, Roger, you there, man? Roger, your
the
silence
wrong
is,
report. Where you at, man? Where you at?
yeah,
Wrong report.
your silence is deafening, sir.
Right.
Your
The
silence
wrong
is deafening.
report. Your mic is muted.
But he probably, no. What I'm saying is he's probably on the phone. Probably, he works late. He works late at night, so but he's definitely on the broadcast, so he'll be chiming in at any moment. But Dre, let me ask you a question.
What's that?
You've been on the platform for a little bit, probably since probably close to the inception of the manosphere itself. Probably, you say you used to work with Tommy back in the day.
Yeah, I used to actually remember. I used to run the Soto You Dig back then.
Oh yeah. So, what run-ins have you had with someone that was on that blue pill rage, besides the most notable example in present day, and you know who I'm talking about? Besides him.
Besides who? Who?
Besides him. Okay, we know.
Notable example. Wait. Say his name in the back chat so I know exactly who you're talking about. But go. I've been around for a while, but I think what happened with me is everyone realized I came out in the beginning when I first came to YouTube. Basically, there is, in the first couple of years, I used my real government name. Like the first 2.5 years, I used my government. So it was never, and I'm kind of one of those ones where a person's opinion about me really doesn't care. That really doesn't bother me like that. If you're not one of my friends or somebody I care about, then even you saying a fact that's true about me doesn't bother me. So I was a hard person to attack because, one, people knew everything about me. You can't, you can't come out and be like, well, we know this about Dre. What? What do you know? Everybody knows everything. And I found that to be, it's a strength and a weakness too. Because a lot of people would try to discredit you for what your talking points because they knew about you. But it was like, you couldn't come and say anything about me because everybody already knows everything about me. So, what I've noticed is that, but I've just noticed that a lot of the people, when I came to this space, it's like they were childish. They had never been any part. They had never been any part of the real world. It's like they've only had people that would only tell them yes. And it was like, and I just sit here and laugh because I'm like, well, what happened? How the hell did you grow up in the real world and nobody ever told you no? Or nobody ever said anything that you didn't like, that you couldn't do nothing about?
I mean, I'm like, did you ever work anywhere where you knew white people treated you with utterly disrespect, but you were making way more money than someone else in your, the average other black person, so you had to take that shit or lose that job? Or did you ever play online video games where, you'd have 7 and 8-year-old white kids calling you so many niggers and monkeys that, you know what I mean? You were like, wow, I'm an adult and I got a 7-year-old white kid calling me. After a while, you realize that certain things in life you just can't control. And once you come to that aspect and realize is, hey, the only thing you can control in life is yourself. So sometimes you have to look at it as, if you're around an ignorant person who gets on your nerves and causes you to be upset, technically that's your fault. Unless they came to you and brought the shit on, it's your fault. Why is that? Because you can't control that person. You can only control yourself. And a smart person would realize that, hey, I have these buttons, I have these triggers. I'm not going to put myself around a person who can push my buttons and trigger me. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of us haven't learned that. We never learned, that from our friends or family members. A lot of us, no offense, a lot of us are first-time fathers. We didn't have a male role model growing up, or the real models we had were very weak. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like I sit back and I look at the manosphere and stuff now, and I am upset. And I'm not upset that how the place is now. I realize you got to take the good with the bad, but I'm upset that there was not a space like this for when I was growing up. To know that if I had met people like us now, say back in my informative years, maybe I would be a lot further than I am in life now. Maybe I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I did. My informative years. Oops. And maybe I wouldn't have made the same mistakes that I did. I look. That's the only thing that really worries me about. I just wish that this was there for them, because a lot of us don't have any outlets. A lot of the young men were told, well, that's how it is. Just suck it up, be a man. That's what's supposed to be happening. That's what you're supposed to be. That's how life is supposed to be for you. When it comes to the, I don't know. I can't even recall too many arguments unless somebody brings it up, because I was such a good cracker back then, and I thought it was just, it's just talk. So, I don't even file that shit away to be remembered.
You were a good cracker.
We call it cracking. Like they call it.
I understood the context. I just had to say that.
Cracking. Right.
Which flavor of cracker were you?
No, we called it cracking back then, not cracker. Cracking, when you basically
cracking jokes.
Right, cracking jokes.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Right. And if you the first one to get upset, that means you lost. So you get into, if you were born and raised around that enough, you realize that words don't hurt. Everybody's got their triggers, but you realize words don't hurt, and somebody's going to always talk some shit. And to realize after you get older, you realize, well, it's just not worth the energy and effort, because sometimes you thinking fucked up in the mind can cause you to miss out on other opportunities. It's not the fact about, it's not the fact about, what you're going to do and all that. It's the fact is, hey, I'm sitting around, fucking around doing something and it's not going to bring anything good to my life. It's only bad for what? Wasting time, energy, effort for nothing.
I would have to push back on that, Judge, because something I've been talking about is that, when we were coming up, we heard this thing that sticks and stones may break our bones, but words can never hurt us. That's wrong. That's completely false. Words can have damaging long-term effects.
Words are the worst. Words,
Yes.
I tell people all the time, words are the worst.
Yeah, man. Like you can get over broken bones and cuts and bruises, physical. You can get over that stuff, man. But something, man, you could be told, man, you ain't shit by your mom, and you can carry that, man, for the rest of your life.
Definitely. I tell people all the time, words hurt worse than anything. I would rather be hit than that. I remember even telling, like I used to tell my children, I said, of course, words, don't ever say that bullshit. Words hurt more than anything. I said, but I tell you this as youngsters, don't never let another person know that the words hurt you. Because unfortunately they find that weakness and they will just put the screws to it even worse. But words hurt like hell. And it's okay to sit back and know that, hey, something that somebody said did hurt me.
Yes.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, Roger, what's going on, man? Long live habitual line steppers. I want you to give a statement, sir, and I want you to try something. I want you to ask Ibrahim J a question. So, go ahead, sir, with your opening statement. And long live the habitual line steppers.
Okay, well, I don't even really know what to ask because honestly, I just started listening. I did something that honestly, I can't say it was a waste of time for me because I got some subscribers off the deal at the end of the day. But I actually went to another blue pill space, and all I can do is just put my head down. I looked into what you had. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? What we had found out about. I just kind of looked into it. Went on the platform, tried to have a conversation. It's like they let me see kind of why people at a certain level don't talk with people at a much lower level because the conduct be off. You know what I'm saying? People be so worried about trying to win a narrative they don't worry about the truth. And you I run off a list of solutions for black folks, you know what I'm saying, who claim they care about the black community. The answers was women should just divest. Black men are dead last in this, so black women shouldn't deal with black men. The host is like, I'm a Dusty, and I tell people I'm a Dusty. He told some story about how he lost a job and then some woman ended up quitting him. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even telling you this to make fun of you. You had the wrong attitude. And you know what I'm saying? I said you should do what my father told me to do. If won't nobody give you a job, give yourself one. You didn't become a hustler. That was on you at the end of the day. What makes you think regular black men out here thinking like you? If I lose my job, I'm just gonna sit around and just lose. Like, who thinking like that? I'm not saying ain't nobody thinking like that, but come on, bro. But that's his perception of black men. And my thing is, and I told him straight, I said, bro, you looking at men through the eyes of women. So this dude don't even value himself as a man because his whole correlation about how black men measure is based on what some women think. And that's so sad. It's sad. I tried to be a graceful person, but and Sir Anthony, I see you asking the question, but no, I don't give light to people that don't really need it. I really don't.
But Roger, I'll say something on that aspect. I'm not even gonna lie, because even I have thought that sometimes is that I remember going through a time. A lot of people, this is the problem. A lot of the young men, they do want female companionship, and when the females and when they don't get female companionship, think about it. Think about it. Look at it in this point of view. They've been raised to, if a woman don't want you, it's something wrong with you. They've been raised by their parents. No, but think about it. You need to do this, that, and the other. And a lot of them are doing this, that, and the other. And they're still not getting the results that the women told them, that raised them, that they were going to get. So what do? They think that, well, wow, it must be something wrong with me. I was always told that my mom always said that you ain't shit and this, that, and the other. You're right. Maybe I'm not. I mean, you have to realize that a lot of people were brought up that way.
No. But they're coming. Hold on, but they're coming to the space. That's why I was just talking about this before Roger got up here. you have men. You have men who are coming to the space who are literally saying the same shit that women are saying, and they're thinking because if they say it from a male's body, it makes it credible. It's still gaslighting.
Yeah.
It's still gaslighting. It's just that now women can point to a man or a male and say, see, he's saying the same thing. And then she's thinking, oh, that gives it credibility because a male say it. And I'm like, no, you can't. Well, these women, they over here talking about such and such. Who gives a fuck what they're saying? Who cares what they're saying? A lot of men think they think women's mouths is more powerful than the actual physical environment. No, it's not. It's not powerful. Men have the capacity to overpower the environment. If a man can tame a damn lion, a pit bull, men can pretty much dominate a damn woman. That's not the issue. The issue is if you're constantly giving women credibility by echoing their silly talking points, which are nothing but gaslighting tactics to have power over you. I just put that link in the chat about gaslighting because that's the purpose of it. The point is much of what we see in the media is nothing but gaslighting towards black men to get control over them so you can do other people's bidding to make them happy and to keep you miserable. Long as you can identify the gaslighting and the techniques that people are using, it's very clear to see what it is. You don't even give it any credibility. You just dismiss it. But the problem is that you have too many men who want to keep hashing that type of argument with these types of females because they really do believe in it. That's why they believe it.
No,
I'm gonna say this.
I believe that they're trying to prove a point and trying to. I'm not even gonna lie. I believe most of them, deep down in their inside of them, they're trying to convince the woman to be with them.
They are,
right.
bro.
That's not about that. If they're trying to convince the woman to be with them.
Right, they're trying to get a pity relationship. That's what I got from that information. Because, like I said, I tried to talk to the brother. The brother kept cutting me off. He was trying to, you know what I'm saying. I tried to say certain things about what stance I'm gonna take on this. Every time I try to take a stance on something, the nigga would cut me off and then tell me what my stance was. And I literally called him out for it, like, bro, you don't even know what I think. Because every time I try to say what I think, you stop me from talking, which is fine because it's your platform. And then you start telling me what I think. You don't want a dialogue. Point blank, period. You really don't want to, and I'm seeing this. You don't want a dialogue. A woman had said something about some statistics and things like that. She was like, people use this statistic, but they should use this statistic. You know what I'm saying? She said people are using this statistic, and she was saying a bunch of other stuff. So I say, okay, ma'am, okay, what statistics are acceptable? The nigga started trying to answer for her. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to ask her what stats are acceptable. If you keep cutting somebody off, I'm gonna put you off. Bro, I'm just trying to ask her what stats are acceptable to her. That's it. Nigga go on a whole tirade. You know what I'm saying? He you know what I'm saying? He brought me off the show. I said, okay, bro, it's all good. You're afraid of dialogue at the end of the day. And that's what this coming to. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that bothered him because I just said, bro, you just afraid of dialogue. You went on a whole tirade about what I don't want to this. I'm not listening to this person. Bro, all I did was ask that woman where she getting her information from. What should be acceptable? I didn't say nothing about her information. I didn't put it down. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say anything about that. So the whole niggas just on the mission.
You fucked up. You don't see. This is one of the main rules. Is this? This is the problem with a lot of our, unintelligent people. By you asking a question, they already assume that that's like a disrespect. You're not allowed to question them, and that's one of the problem in the black community. They form when you ask a person a question, that's a form of disrespect. Remember, I asked that woman a question about that crap with me, and that cost me to lose that job. And all I did was question. I just asked you a question. And that pissed her off where she went days, and then now I'm getting problems. But I mean, literally, well, I feel like you disrespect, and I'm like, all I did was ask a question. I didn't, not like I gave my opinion. I asked a question. You're not supposed to question him. You're supposed to listen and do what the fuck they say. Unfortunately, that's how unfortunately, that's how our immature people in our community act. A question, just asking a question, is looked at is worse than you calling them a bitch or hitting them.
Hey y'all, for those who know what's going on, please don't mention it in the chat. Don't let people get light that don't need no light. And all I can say is,
although I don't particularly care, but I get Roger. Don't give the guy any light. I mean, seriously, especially if, like I said, you act one way here and then you want to do that, especially to my peoples. Nah, we ain't gonna give that dude no light. But it's your freedom to check it out anyway. Uh, but yeah, that's a classic example of just that blue pill attack shit that I was talking about like a few minutes ago. Like, this to get God don't want to hear it. Just admit you're defeated. Stop. Like, I did that one time, and this guy had like in the group on Facebook. This was about 3 years ago when the group was at its height. He asked me to give him like 10 solutions. It was a blue pillar. He claimed to be an author. I said, yeah, all you trying to do is sell books anyway. I used to tell him that all the time. So I gave him like 10 like quick solutions. I ain't even had to try too hard to think about them. It was like, education, infrastructure, generational wealth, stuff like that. And, the first thing he said once I said that, he was like, yeah, that's all well and good, man. But first off, man, we got to stop talking about these women, man. We got to respect our sisters. Huh? I would say, number one, the negative behavior of those sisters that you're talking about are impacting the children. So let's just go ahead and let adults be adults, and let's talk about some real tangible stuff. Stuff that everyone can put their hands on. But no, he didn't want to hear that. The only thing he wanted to hear me say is I should stop talking about black women. I mean, it's like, yeah. And then when Roger said pity relationship, I exploded with laughter on the inside, because it's like they do that for that little false validation. The guy he talked about tomorrow, yeah, I'm a Dusty. Like, nah, we don't want to hear that defeated nonsense. Not in the manosphere.
my thing is, I went in good faith, and that was just a bad decision. These, you know what I'm saying? Certain dudes are just so far gone and so pitiful, and they want to paint this picture of everybody else because of their personal failures they had. My thing is like his whole real main thing, honestly, in my opinion, based off the information I got, your issue came from the fact that you lost a job and then you lost your woman. You just didn't go get another job or make something happen. You had too much pride to do something to take care of yourself, and you failed at a woman. Everybody else is not looking at life like that. Just because you failed a woman don't mean I'm about to fail her.
Roger. So what he's saying is that there was an alpha man that came through on his woman and dicked his woman down.
And, his woman got took.
And then like one day he saw him in Obsidian's chat talking shit. He decided from now on I will try to destroy the black manosphere. Like,